Honorable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayer.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness have appointed officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity. We beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Item 2, communication from the chair.
Honourable members, I welcome you to this session on a Thursday. And as we promised, we'll always have a Thursday for Members' Day. We don't have so much, but we'll reserve more time for members. Just to make a kind reminder. Kind reminder is that today is the 6th sitting. Polite reminder to whoever. Thank you. You're standing on what? On the reminder. Yes.
Madam Speaker, once again on the people of Busia municipality, we are so proud of you having a title of a Narongo. Madam Speaker, on your communication, politics in Africa has changed from multi-party democracy to activism. And this is a very big problem that we are witnessing in Uganda and other African countries. It beats my understanding that leaders, instead of using the power given to them by their people, they use the power given by somebody called the principal because he's heading a political party. There's collective responsibility, fine. But I see this, Madam Speaker, for our brothers and sisters, some of them to me sitting for the 6th day, as denying their voters' rights and effective representation. And therefore, I agree with you that this being the 6th sitting, it sounds a very noise bell to our colleagues, and it will be a big lesson to other leaders to come in, who are to come in this country, that when you are elected as a person, you must respect the authority that the people have given to you. It makes me have a second mind of believing in individual merit as a person, because where it has reached, people have stopped listening to the people who voted them, and they are listening to individuals, which is now questioning who is the boss of who. Because I believe the people of Busia municipality are my bosses because they brought me to the August house to talk for them. Although I pay allegiance to my party. But where it has reached, Madam Speaker and my colleagues, we should let our colleagues know politics of activism cannot work in African setting, and it will not make us enjoy multi-party democracy, which we ushered in ourselves through our constitution. Therefore, Madam Speaker, you are spot on. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me first have the elder, then I come to you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, thank you very much. Honorable members, of late, this parliament as an institution has been in the media. And what is there is now becoming an issue of public concern as to why it cannot be resolved. Honorable members, the cause of action, why our comrades are out of parliament, did not originate from this house. Neither did it originate from the decision of the presiding officer. Some of these actions originate as far back as 2020. 2020, none of us was in this house. And there is sufficient laws in this country where someone is aggrieved and he reports it to either police or he goes to court. And in case he's aggrieved by the decisions of this house, he can follow it within the rules. So in that respect, can we appeal to our colleagues in the event that the cause of action was not by this house to take appropriate measures by reporting the matters where they are supposed to report them? In case they think they cannot be listened to there, and there are members of parliament who can be listened to here, they should formally put it to the presiding officer. The presiding officer will use Article 9 of the Constitution and process this business through the Committee of Parliament. Because this parliament takes decisions on the issues that are processed through the committee. This parliament cannot originate business and take decisions without being processed. Because some of these people who are supposed to appear there cannot come in the chamber. So I would appeal through some members who can access them, let them formally put their case be put into the appropriate processes of channel through Article 90, and in case they don't trust all these committees of parliament, under our rule 190, the speaker has power to put a select committee, and this select committee is selected when both sides agree. The both on the government side will propose names, and the other side they propose names, so that these matters can be resolved. Because of some of this subject matter is not a member of parliament. So I would appeal to you, Madam Speaker, that we take that direction and we get out of the media, because neither you nor members of parliament were a cause of action. I thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Honorable members, that has already been said. The cause of action was not by this house. The decision was not by the speaker. We inherited problems way back from Mukura. The people were burnt in Mukura. Arobo is also going to start on that. So we inherited this, so we should not be held. I should not be held liable. Because it happened when I was not there, it did not happen in this house. And it is only this house that we can be able to resolve such issues when we are all here. We will all stand for the good of the people outside there. But if we choose to address some of these issues in the boardrooms, then the public will judge us. And I'm leaving it to the public to judge, because you never know. And as the Honorable said, if it is something really that we should handle, then we can even go for a select committee and have a report presented to this house. If government is failing to respond, and to the best of my knowledge, government has not failed to respond. But government cannot respond to people who are not there. The ones who ask for the report are not in the house. Let them come back to the house and we give the report. And government, can I hear from you?
Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, for all intent and purposes, government had indicated on this floor that not once, not twice, we had meetings chaired by the Right Honorable Speaker, chaired by the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker many times on the same subject matter. The same subject matter on human rights was debated through ministerial statements on the floor of Parliament. The other day when the Deputy Speaker was chairing, he enumerated the times. The same subject matter on human rights were investigated, including a parliamentary committee in charge of human rights, investigated the same. The Uganda Human Rights Commission investigated the same. Some of the suspects have been charged in courts of law. We have indicated here. Right Honorable Speaker, to the best of the understanding of government, we have done our part. We are respecting the decree by the presiding officer then to say government was given 30 days. But to the best of our recollection, we have explained, honorable members, this is the same list that was submitted to Human Rights Commission. Same list submitted to a parliamentary committee that reported on the floor. Same list investigated by the different agencies of government. For how long will this parliament continue with this legislative activism? For how long? For how long? For how long? Right Honorable Speaker, as a government, we committed here. I remember the Honorable General David Muhoozi stated in very clear terms that because the presiding officer gave us 30 days.
I just wanted the house to know that you are around. Yes, sit.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, we would want to join you as the presiding officer to support you to use all the mechanisms within the rules of procedure to compel our colleagues to come back to the house. You can invoke even certain provisions, because the truth is they left this house on their own. Now they want to be aided by ourselves to bring them back. That we first explained here. We are going to politely decline, Right Honorable Speaker. There is time for everything. Even under the law, there's what we call the Limitations Act. Everything has a limit. For how long are they going to stretch us? Everything has a limit. And I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Isaac Otem, Giupadire County. I take this opportunity to congratulate you for the good blessings and also to wish you a happy birthday. I understand it is, I saw it somewhere on the platform. How happy birthday, please, Madam.
Thank you so much. And I also want to wish a happy birthday to Honorable Achayo, Honorable Caroline, and my big sister, the Right Honorable Speaker of Tanzania, Dr. Tulia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May you live to blow as many candles as possible. Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you very much for the stand you have taken against this matter. It is sad that for the last month, our colleagues have actually tried to turn the name of this parliament and drag it into the muds. We cannot allow this place to turn into a theater. Parliament is a place of serious business, Madam Speaker. And they have been trying to drag us all into the muds. And I'm happy that you've taken a stand on this matter. And I actually thank the government chief whip for a very strong statement that he has made on this matter. And it is true, Madam Speaker, we are behind you to take any possible procedural matter in order to make sure that our colleagues are compelled to come back in the house. And yesterday you made a very strong statement. We cannot have our colleagues who have abandoned us here, who have actually left parliament, to choose and pick the areas of parliament that they benefit from to continue participating. That cannot be happening. They want to continue traveling abroad. They want to continue attending committees. They want also to go for the East African Games. That we beg, Madam Speaker, that you stand by your ground on that, and we're behind you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Guang, Honorable Gualu, and then my brother of FDC.
Madam Speaker, on behalf of my family, I want to begin by saying happy birthday to you and to our twins. I congratulate you. And to the people of Bukedea. Madam Speaker and honorable members, I am happy that the government chief whip has spoken family here. But I want to remind you, some of us who have joined parliament. When I joined parliament, the 9th parliament, I found a strong foundation by the Oboas then. As of now, I don't know whether we interest ourselves to listen to the population, what they talk about this institution called parliament. It is true today in this parliament, we have the nearest big building near us here, which has almost reached parliament. And Madam Speaker, forgive me to mention this, that with due respect, if you don't stand firm, it's like this institution is becoming a national theater. Why am I saying this, Madam Speaker? We used to admire legislators when we were young people. We used to admire debate of this institution. And it's the reason I endeavor to be here, irrespective from where I come from. But fundamentally today, are we really doing what the people of Uganda sent us to do here?
Honorable Minister, we are doing.
Madam Speaker, there's a reason I'm bringing this. I want just you to give me 1 minute. First, we all want to accept that there is activism at play. And we cannot stop activism at play. I want to implore us that, for me, I'm happy that they are not in the house. And it is important that we continue with our business. Because now we are dealing with the reason why they sent us to parliament. With due respect, Madam Speaker, they are looking for a scapegoat to return. And I want to appeal to you. Let them stay out. We are losing nothing and we lose nothing. We will continue to transact business on behalf of this country.
Thank you, Honorable.
Colleagues, I want to say this. You are voted to be here by your own people, including those who are out there. And I want to call upon their constituents. If you want to solve a problem, can you solve it when you're out there? Come here and solve a problem here. But now you have chosen to be out. I want to implore my brother, Honorable Mpuga. I have a lot of respect for you. I do not know where you've got that activism from. You are a diplomat. If it is a pressure, please live to who you are. I thank you.
Honorable members, we all need to be in the house. If our colleagues can be able to come back to the house, the same way they left, let them come back. This house belongs to them. The house belongs to them. Nobody chased them. And when they come back to the house, they will get all that they need. And the team out there is not just fighting for the few people. It's about a bigger population. They are doing a good job, but they must do a good job from inside. Because they need support from the whole house. You'll find that the person who was kidnapped may not have been even maybe was a relative to one of these NRMs. So let's not take the thing like it is a party issue.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you that you held this parliament together just from day one that you started. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is the responsibility of this institution to hold the executive accountable. And if we do not hold the executive accountable, who else is going to do that?
I see the debate in this parliament degenerating between the opposition and the NRM, which should not be the case. The people who this side says have been killed, have been abducted, are our children, they are our relatives, they are our aunties, they are our friends. Therefore, when we are handling these matters here in parliament, we must be very sensitive to the feelings of all this parliament and the country, not to degenerate between the opposition and then the NRM. Finally, Madam Speaker, I want to request you that the appeal when I heard from the leader of the opposition was that government must commit to bring a comprehensive list here. Madam Speaker, you have the power, and you have been doing that before. You have helped this country to hold the executive accountable, and it is still within your power. I appeal to you, Madam Speaker, as I sit, that you give the government, the executive, another chance to bring a comprehensive list here of the demands raised by the leader of the opposition so that this matter can be brought to a rest. Because when I hear my friends, when I hear my colleagues say that you compelled the opposition to come back to the House, that is not correct. We don't need to compel our colleagues to come to the House. We need to negotiate, dialogue, so that we bring this list together in the House and we discuss it. I thank you.
Honorable Boileau, for us to hold government accountable, we hold it from the House, not in the boardrooms. Don't degenerate me into going to the corridors. I chair the House, I do not chair the corridors. And members should come, they were elected to come to this House.
Most obliged.
Yes, Honorable Kimosho, then Daudi.
Thank you.
I thought Emmanuel.
Thank you.
Hey, Emmanuel, UPC, I mean the FDC.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The other day when my woman member of parliament, Honorable Jane
Pachuto,
Avur, when she spoke on behalf of the Jonam people, the Pakwach people, I couldn't say anymore. I only want to add that a happy birthday after giving birth is double sweetness. Right Honorable Speaker, I have learned something today, which I don't know if I should continue to hold it that way. That when people walk out of parliament and they stay away from parliament, then it can be termed as political activism. I have learned it from here. And I'm saying this because you remember in FDC, we used to have activism. I was in the group of Muntu that cherished building the party from the grassroots, not talking too much about activism, claiming our win, which we have not claimed up to now. So whatever people want to describe what has happened, I leave it there. And secondly, Madam Speaker, I know you have made some pronouncements, and I want to go and support my son-in-law, Minister Ogwang. Why should we continue to talk about it? Why don't we just continue with what we have to do? Because
thank you. When an elder says, you move on. Next item.
Laying of papers, item 3.
Honorable members in the VIP gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of senators and the staff of the Standing Committee on Labor and Social Welfare from the Senate of Kenya. We have Senior Julius Mangor. He is a chairperson of the committee. Julius, you're most welcome. We have Senior Faki Mohammed. Welcome. He is a member of the committee. We have Senior Miraj Abdallah. Welcome, Madam. She's a member of the committee. We have Miss Mwanate Shaban. Welcome. She's a senior clerk assistant. And then we have Miss Gertrude, first clerk assistant. You're most welcome to Parliament of Uganda. And while here, feel at home. This is your sister parliament. And Kenya and Uganda are one and the other. So karibu sana. Join me in welcoming them. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3, laying of papers, the annual performance report of the Finance Intelligence Authority for the financial year 2022-2023.
Honorable members, in section 36(2) of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2013 requires the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to table annual performance report for the Financial Intelligence Authority to Parliament within 1 month of its submission by the board of the Financial Intelligence Authority. I now invite the Minister to table the report.
Right Honorable Speaker, for the record, I am holding brief for the Minister of Finance, who got delayed in a meeting, but will be joining us. And also, before I lay, permit me on behalf of the Leader of Government Business in Parliament, who is the Right Honorable Prime Minister, to convey on behalf of government a very, very happy birthday to you, Right Honorable Speaker. Government salutes you and wishes you more and more candles to be burned in the future.
Thank you.
I now move to lay on table the annual performance report of the Finance Intelligence Authority for the financial year 2022-2023. On behalf of the Minister of Finance, I beg to lay.
Thank you so much. The report is referred to the Committee of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for further assessment.
Item 4, laying of papers, item 4, statements by ministers. Item 4.1, Uganda's chairmanship of the non-aligned movement and the group of 77 and China, and hosting of the 19th non-aligned movement and 3rd South to South Summit.
Honorable members, as you may be aware, Uganda will be hosting the 19th summit of the non-aligned movement on 15th to 20th January 2024. The Minister of Foreign Affairs will be providing us with information on NAM, and it is basically for information. And when that information is given to you, you can use it very well. But at the same time, Parliament will also be hosting CISCOP. I'll wait also to hear from the Mr. Honorable Katuntu after the Minister has given his report. Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity. And I want to join my colleagues who have spoken earlier to wish you a pleasant birthday. Madam Speaker, permit me take this opportunity to present an information paper to the House in respect of NAM and Uganda's chairpersonship of NAM. I'm pleased to address this August House on the preparations for the following important events and responsibilities. Hosting the 19th Summit of NAM Heads of State and Government, that's number 1. Number 2, hosting the 3rd South Summit. Number 3, Uganda's chairmanship of non-aligned movement for the period 2024
2027. And 4, Uganda's chairmanship of the Group of 77 and China in 2024. As honorable members may be aware, objective number 28 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy of 1995 Constitution as amended for the Republic of Uganda provides for Uganda's foreign policy to focus, among other things, on 1, promotion of the national interests of Uganda, 2, peaceful coexistence and non-alignment, and 3, active participation in international and regional organizations that stand for peace, well-being, and the progress of humanity. Brief background of NAM and Group of 77 and China. Right Honorable Speaker, NAM was founded in 1961 at the first summit held in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, out of the desire to avoid polarization of countries of the developing world during the Cold War era between the pro-Soviet communist countries of the Warsaw Pact and the pro-American capitalist countries belonging to NATO. It was also intended to further promote the colonization of the Asian and African countries which were fighting for their independence. Currently, NAM is a forum of 120 member states. In addition, there are 18 observer countries and 10 observer organizations. Details of the member states and observers are attached in Annexure 1. Since its founding, the work of NAM has been guided by the following 10 Bandanga principles. Number 1, respect for fundamental human rights and for the purposes of principles of the Charter of the United Nations. Number 2, respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations. 3, recognition of the equality of all races and equality of all nations, large or small. Number 4, abstention from intervention or interference into internal affairs of another country. 5, respect for the right of each nation to defend itself, singly or collectively, in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. 7, abstention from the use of arrangement of collective defense to serve the particular interests of any of the big powers, and abstention by any country from exerting pressures on the other country. Number 8, refraining from actions or threats of aggression or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any country. Number 9, settlement of all international disputes by peaceful means, such as negotiation, conciliation, arbitration, or judicial settlement, as well as other peaceful means of the parties' own choice, in conformity with the Charter of the United Nations. Number 11, promotion of mutual interest and cooperation. And finally, respect for justice and international obligations. Right Honorable Speaker, with regard to the Group of 77 and China, the group is a loose alliance of developing countries established on the 15th June 1964. It derives its name from the 77 original signatories into the joint declaration of the 77 countries, issued at the end of the first session of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva. Although membership of the group has expanded to 134, the original name has been retained due to the historic significance. I have enclosed the matrix showing the spread of NAM and G77 countries and those with dual membership in Annexure 2. The primary goals of the group include: 1, maintaining the independence and sovereignty of all developing countries; 2, defending the economic interests of its members through promotion of equal standing with developed countries in the global marketplace; 3, establishing a united front for negotiation on issues of common concern to the Greater South and the UN, and strengthening the ties between member countries. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda will host the 19th Summit of NAM, Heads of State and Government, and the Third South Summit back to back. And I hasten to say it's going to be the first time for a single country to host the 2 summits back to back. The NAM Summit is scheduled to take place between 15th and 20th January 2024, divided into 3 segments, namely 15th, 16th January 2024, senior officials. Between 17th and 18th January 2024, ministers of foreign affairs, and between 19th and 20th January 2024, heads of state and government. Immediately after NAM Summit, the third South Summit will take place between 21st and 23rd January 2024. And as honorable members may recall, third South Summit had been scheduled to take place in April 2020, but was postponed due to the outbreak of the COVID pandemic. This summit is organized under the framework of the Group 77 and China, that's G77 plus China. Right, Honorable Speaker, enhanced preparations for the successful holding of the summits have been ongoing since February 2023. Substantive progress has been made in this regard, and we are now implementing in the implementation phase. I have enclosed matrix highlighting the major achievements, Annex 3. However, without going into the details already contained in the matrix, I wish to take you through some of the salient issues. Madam Speaker, I hope I will just skip these because they are clearly laid down for purposes of saving time. We have the theme and the vision statement. We have the convention center. Let me just speak briefly about the convention center. Construction of the convention center at Munyonyo is ongoing and is expected to be ready for the summits. Progress has been made on the structural and architectural works, as well as electrical and mechanical works. Due to prior project delays, the contractor has introduced catch-up plans and measures to redeem the lost project time, including working longer hours and working in shifts day and night. Transport. Due to limited resources, government has not spent funds on purchase of vehicles. Instead, the entire fleet of government vehicles will be mobilized for the summits, including vehicles used by entitled officers across MDAs. So far, Ministry of Works and Transport has inspected a total of 2,592 vehicles, and 1,543 are in good condition. These will be further inspected at the end of December and early January. The government fleet will be supplemented by vehicles donated by bilateral partners, that's China and India. In addition to the 70 vehicles donated by China in 2020, another 70 have been donated and have arrived in the country, Madam Speaker. This time, however, government was required to purchase only 30 vehicles as part of the cooperation arrangement. Government of India has donated 10 executive buses and 5 ambulances. These are expected in the country by the end of 2023. Road infrastructure works by KCC and UNRA.
Still on the vehicles, so all the ministers are going to give their vehicles. You're going to hand over all the vehicles. All government vehicles. Yeah.
Madam Speaker, I did mention by all MDAs, and MDA stands for ministries, departments, and agencies. The ministries will lead the way.
That's very good.
Including mine, Madam Speaker.
Even I will also give mine.
Oh, very good. Road and infrastructure works by KCC and UNRA. KCC is currently undertaking improvement and maintenance of strategic roads in and around Kampala and the summit venue, including street lighting and drainage. Details are also outlined in the matrix attached. UNRA is currently doing work, UNRA is currently doing work on the 3 major road projects, namely Kampala Flyover Project Road, where works are substantially completed, conversion of the Kajansi Munyonyo Spur into an expressway, and improvements of Kampala Northern Bypass. In addition, UNRA is also working on a number of diversion roads and installing street lights. Details are contained in the matrix. Beautification. I think we can read that one by KCCA. Security and accreditation. Substantive progress has been made in this regard. Specific progress has been made on deployment of foundation security, training, protection teams, and motorcade drivers, designing of accreditation module for delegates to register online. Details are also in the matrix. ICT, media, and publicity. Madam Speaker, I request I fly over that. It can be read. Conferencing protocol and migration. Confirmations have started coming in through for the two summits. And so far, 18 confirmations have been received, including member states and observers. The agendas and programs for the summits are still under review. In addition to government efforts, we're also collaborating with partners to support arrangements for the summits. For example, UN Regional Service Center Entebbe has offered standby parking spaces for VVIPs, in addition to emergency firefighting support within Entebbe, if required, as well as staff with the foreign language skills to assist at the airport. Protocol liaison officers have been identified from a number of MDAs, including Parliament. They have undergone the first phase of training. The Immigration Department has enhanced its capacity at the airport to handle the expected high number of delegates. Health and medical services. A sufficient number of ambulances and healthcare workers have been identified for the summits. Hospitals for possible use during the summit have been identified. Other important issues of priority include emergency medical evacuation services, as well as COVID-19 screening plan. Airport. The immediate area of concern has been completion and construction works at the main terminal. However, work has progressed substantially and will be completed before the summits. Other issues of concern under review for improvement relate to small size of the arrivals hall, limited number of washrooms in the arrival hall, congestion in the baggage claim, customs screening areas, especially during the peak hours. Spouses program. Madam Speaker, I skip that. Accommodation. 59 hotels have been visited with a total of 6,248 rooms around Kampala and Entebbe. So far, grading by UTB for the first batch of 32 hotels has been completed. Others will be graded after another follow-up visit this month. Government will provide limited accommodation courtesies, that's 1+3, for heads of state and government and heads of delegation at selected hotels. Business forum, trade, exhibition, and tourism. A business forum and exhibition on the margins of the two summits to promote trade, investment, and tourism in Uganda is being organized with the involvement of private sector and support from partners. It is planned to take place between 15th and 18th at Serena Hotel, Kampala. Discussions are also underway with the key stakeholders on how to leverage Uganda's tourism during summits. Chairmanship of NAM and Group of 77 at China. Right Honorable Speaker, immediately after the summits, Uganda will assume chairmanship of NAM for the period 2024-2027. That is a 3-year period. And as well as the Group of 77 plus China for 1 year, starting in 2024. Unlike other organizations, NAM has no formal organizational structure, constitution, no permanent secretariat. The activities of the movement are mainly coordinated by the permanent representatives in New York under what is called the Coordination Bureau, led by permanent representative of the country holding chairmanship. Other activities are carried out by 5 missions where NAM has chapters, namely Geneva, Paris, Vienna, Nairobi, and Addis Ababa. In addition, the country chairing NAM constitutes a secretariat to coordinate the work of the missions at 6 NAM chapters during the chairmanship. This has been set up at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Uganda's chairmanship of NAM will be anchored on the universal principles of international relations as enshrined in United Nations Charter and the founding Bandanga principles of NAM, as well as African Union Agenda 2063 and promotion of Uganda's foreign policy objectives. In relation to the vision already outlined above, Uganda will seek, among other things, to 1, maintain cohesiveness among NAM member states on issues of common interest and promoting common positions within multilateral fora. 2, build on the ongoing efforts by NAM to pay closer attention to issues of socioeconomic development and challenges hindering the prosperity of its member states. call on NAM members to identify some of the practical bottlenecks that impede economic progress despite the natural endowments and wealth possessed by a number of NAM members. Strengthen multilateral economic diplomacy to ensure the rules program and activities developed are favorable and aligned to NAM and Uganda's development needs. Over the 3 years of NAM chairmanship, Uganda will be making statements and leading negotiations on behalf of the movement on a number of important issues. The ministry will be charged with guiding these processes in consultation with Excellency the President and other key stakeholders as may be appropriate. We shall also be required to attend a series of NAM meetings, which will not be optional given the chairmanship. In this regard, Cabinet directed that the ministry's budget for travel abroad should be restated and enhanced through the chairmanship. Some of these meetings include meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs of the Coordination Bureau, attended by all NAM member states, the midterm meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs held 18 months after taking over the chairmanship, with the responsibility to review the midterm status of implementation of the summit decisions. Number 3, annual meetings of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on the margins of the high-level segment of the United Nations General Assembly. And number 4, annual meetings of the Ministerial Committee on Palestine on the margins of high-level segment of the United Nations General Assembly. The country chairing NAM automatically also assumes the chairmanship of Ministerial Committee on Palestine. Right Honorable Speaker, as outlined above, Uganda's chairmanship of the Group of 77 and China will be for 1 year only, 2024. The activities of the group, including the chairmanship, are also carried out mostly by permanent representatives in New York and the other locations where there are G77 and China chapters such as Geneva. Expected outcomes. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda's chairmanship of NAM and G77 plus China and hosting of 2 summits is expected to contribute to the following outcomes. Number 1, promotion of Uganda's national interests through enhanced positive image of the country and potential economic and commercial benefits that will accrue over the medium to long term. 2, promotion of the aspirations and objectives of Uganda's foreign policy as enshrined in 1995 Constitution as amended through projection of Uganda's diplomacy at global level. Number 3, provide a platform to market Uganda's unique tourism and investment opportunities to a large and wider community of international actors. The 2 developed website for NAM and G77 plus China with a menu about Uganda contains information related to investment opportunities and tourism. Number 4, contribute to the country's policy and drive to attract meetings, international conferences, and exhibitions. Number 5, provide a platform for direct business-to-business interaction and partnerships through the proposed business forum and summit. Funding. Right Honorable Speaker, at its meeting held on 27th March 2023, Cabinet approved the budget for the organization of 2 summits amounting to Uganda shillings 53,594 million. The budget requirements for the mandatory activities during the 3-year chairmanship are to be catered for separately through the ministry's annual budget, following Cabinet's decision that I have outlined above, Madam Speaker. Finally, I wish to thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity and honorable colleagues for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs. I remember some of us were asking why there was money being sent for NAM. Now you know. And now you appreciate. So even when we get a supplementary asking for money for NAM, you know that there is an activity. And this information is basically informative. You need to know when visitors are coming to your country. So thank you so much, Honorable Minister. And then from the Parliament side, Honorable Katuntu can give information on my behalf. Honorable Katonto used to be my chairman of COSASE.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. On behalf of my committee, and indeed on my own behalf, I would like to congratulate you upon reaching the age you are, because it is not okay to mention people's ages, especially if they are ladies. But may the Almighty Allah bless you with more years to come. I'd like to take it up from where Honorable Mulimba's ended. Uganda is still continuing to enjoy the confidence of the international community and family. And the Parliament of Uganda is going to host the Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference from the 3rd to the 6th of January. So far, 35 countries.
I remember, it seems you're not happy to receive the speakers.
Right Honorable Speaker, as you recall, in 2007, we did host the CHOGM. We also hosted the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Speakers Association. Now we are going to host the speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth, the entire Commonwealth. It is equally a big conference like NAM and G77. Preparations are underway, and I happen to be the chairperson of the coordinating committee. Right Honorable Speaker, we would like, on behalf of my committee, to give us some space on the order paper on Tuesday to give colleagues a detailed program such that we're on the same page. But like I said, this is about Parliament, it's about Uganda. And one country which is already confirmed, Malaysia, has requested that they bring over 50 delegates. Over 50 delegates, just one country. So the benefits Honorable Mulimba is talking about are actually have started, flowing in terms of tourism, in terms of income by our entrepreneurs, and indeed marketing our country. But I don't want to preempt the statement. Right Honorable Speaker, give us some time on Tuesday, and we shall give a detailed budget, including the responsibility of colleagues who should be able to participate in the preparations, in the final preparation. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Katonto Abdu, and thank you for representing us in that committee. Next item.
Item 4.2, statement by Minister on the status of land owned by government institutions across the country.
Honorable Minister of Lands. Government Chief Whip, are you sure you can be able to answer issues on lands? All the issues on lands?
Right Honorable Speaker, maybe let me first put on record that the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands wrote to the Clerk to Parliament in a letter dated 21st November 2023, and he states that the Honorable Minister of Lands is currently in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, officiating at the African Land Conference 2023, and coincidentally, the Ministers of State are also unable, but the statement, including the attachment, is available. You may wish to guide whether we skip the item or the item be presented, because the Permanent Secretary...
Ministers of State. We have a minister, one is for Obiga Kania, is the only Minister of State this House knows.
This letter, Right Honorable Speaker, states that the
Honorable Government Chief Whip, I just want to request that we have Honorable Nabakova in the House to answer the questions on land, and we can reschedule it to next week.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Most obliged. Thank you.
And we'll also need a statement from the Minister of Gender on the same. Minister, you have your statement on both youth, disability, women lands. No, we are still finalizing on the land. We will need a statement from both ministers, the one of gender and the one of lands. Honorable Nabakova.
Right Honorable Speaker, I commit to ensure that the minister comes to Parliament. At the moment, she is in Addis Ababa attending a conference on behalf of government. But to the Ministry of Gender, I undertook, I wrote and also copied you in because Parliament wanted the status of all land belonging to persons with disability.
And then the youth, the scouts.
That day, Right Honorable Speaker, the directive I undertook was only because we were debating the statement for the celebration of International Day for Persons with Disability. There was only one directive, which I undertook.
I actually asked for a statement on the land for Kazi. Kazi is for what?
Kazi is for
Scouts.
Uganda Scouts.
Yes, I also asked for it. So we need all that information, including the Naguru land. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
There is another procedure.
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to appreciate, yes, I'm on a procedure issue. You are raising issues regarding land, but also, Right Honorable Speaker, while attending the last AGM of the SACCO, Right Honorable Speaker, while attending the annual general meeting of the Parliamentary SACCO a week ago, we were informed about land that had been almost forcefully taken away from the Parliamentary SACCO by the UPDF. Right Honorable Speaker. And Right Honorable Speaker, we as members of Parliament, we are the ones that actually sustain the funding of that SACCO. And when the SACCO procures land, the land is supposed to be sold to the members. And Right Honorable Speaker, this happened some time back. I don't know whether it would not be procedural right to also get a statement from the minister on how land in this country is acquired. Because that was, I don't believe that UPDF can just go and take over land without following the due process. So Right Honorable Speaker, while we struggle with land grabbing in this country, it should not be an institution taking away land from legislators, members of Parliament. So that would it not be procedural right that the minister, whether for defense or the minister of lands, also comes and gives us how land can be acquired by another institution from another without following the proper processes. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Thank you so much. First of all, I was insisting on that issue of the land. All the other bodies were raising issues that their land was being grabbed. Now, the land of SACCO, we had a meeting over that land, and I'm not sure if that land has been grabbed. I'm not sure. Can we hear from the chair?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. It is true, I'm the chairperson of the Uganda Parliamentary SACCO. And it is true, Honorable Opend is a member of the SACCO, like many other members. And it is also true that at our AGM, we indicated to members that the Uganda Parliamentary SACCO had acquired land to develop a new estate as a follow-up to the one in Bulindo. And the UPDF developed appetite and interest in our land. And as a role of the circle, one is to make money for the members. So the government valuer has already valued. We have negotiated, yes, and we have been given a figure that we think is really profitable for the Uganda Parliamentary Circle, and that's not the only piece of land in this country. So our only promise, but Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you that you have been in different meetings. Now that we know a good figure, we want that figure cleared in the shortest time possible. And the government has promised, of course, with your guidance, the shortest time possible. And the shortest time possible is today or tomorrow, so that we can use that money to acquire more land. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The shortest time possible would be for you to appropriate for that money. You need to appropriate for it. It's not something that, first of all, you are the ones who requested because it is near barracks. Let's be sincere to each other. I have been chairing these meetings. Let's be sincere. UPDF is giving us good money. That is correct. But they did not get the appetite. They did not get the appetite. It is you who got the appetite to get more money. So you are selling. So thank you. We shall appropriate for that money, and the money will be.
Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, I want to thank you for the kind statements you have made in protecting the image of our national army, the Uganda People's Defense Forces. Right Honorable Speaker, we all know that the UPDF has gone through metamorphosis. And as we speak, we have one of the best professional army in the continent of Africa. Arising from the explanatory note offered by the chairperson of SACO, I wanted to seek for your guidance whether the earlier accusation by the Honorable Acheng Sarah Opendi would still stand and be captured in our record. And yet we all know that the UPDF, if there are elements within the UPDF, we would rather single them out rather than the entire institution of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I beg to seek for your guidance whether that statement would still remain on our record with the explanatory note.
We are in a business relationship between UPDF and the parliamentary circle. And Honorable Sarah. No, it is not him who said.
Right Honorable Speaker, I was very careful when making my remarks, and I said I don't want to believe, because during the AGM.
Now that you have gotten the truth.
Right
So
Honorable Speaker, at the AGM, the chairperson said, okay, Right Honorable Speaker, in the interest of moving forward,
Madam,
let me withdraw. But the facts are clear.
Thank you so much. Yes, Aru.
Right Honorable Speaker, I would want to thank you, first of all, for always speaking for the voiceless in this country. May the good Lord bless you for that trait.
Amen.
Right Honorable Speaker, On that same note, you directed, guided, and instructed the minister, who is also my mom, Honorable Beatrice Anywa, to come to Pade district, in particularly Achwa Ranch, call the area members of parliament. You also directed the Minister of Agriculture to come to Pade. That was a blessing alone, having 3 ministers in Pade on that particular date. And they come up with a statement. Issues concerning Achwa Ranch on the floor of this parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, I'd love to inform you, we have waited from morning till sunset.
That including Minister of Agriculture?
Including Minister of Agriculture. No minister has come to Pade. No minister has come to Pade, and the people are still waiting as Paderians grumble with the issue of land. Isn't it procedure right, Right Honorable Speaker, that you again implore the minister to come to Pade and we address the issue?
Honorable Minister, and it was a simple thing, that go to the locus for a fact finding. Find out what the member is raising and come back and report to this house. And the Honorable Government Chief Whip was supposed to put it down in writing to you and to Honorable Agriculture. Agriculture, are we together? I don't know, did you communicate to the ministers? Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Pleasantly, I say happy birthday.
Yes,
you look
blue,
like an
yes,
angel.
Yes, blue girl.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm a yellow girl.
We used to be blue girls.
We used to be. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my son, and indeed he's my son, Amakech, for reminding us of the directive you made. But Right Honorable Speaker, when you made a directive, it was realized, Right Honorable Speaker, that the intervention needs, it was a matter ministerial intervention, and it was given to the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister to handle. We did start our preliminary meeting. I alerted the management of the prison.
Honorable Susan, can you tell us what you're laughing at? She's looking at Honorable Chero. Honorable Chero, why are you making Susan uncomfortable?
No, I think, Madam Speaker, I'm sitting in the direction of her interest. But it may not be directly me who's the target. I really suspect that she must be appreciating something around this direction.
When Honorable Anita was entering, when Honorable Anita was entering, Honorable Chero started salivating.
So, Right Honorable Speaker,
Mabira, please continue.
Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to report that the issue, because it involved more than one ministry, the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister started handling it. We contacted the management of prison, and they actually assembled to wait for our team to go there. However, Right Honorable Speaker, I think we are still finalizing with the office of the third Deputy Prime Minister, who is supposed to head us the three different ministries. That is Agriculture, Water and Environment, and Internal Affairs. I beg to submit. But we are ready to come.
Honorable Minister, what would be hard for you to go, the three of you, and come and make a report?
Right Honorable Speaker, with that chair of yours,
I am directing you
and
to
we
go
move.
to the locals and report back to this house.
Thank you.
And I am directing the Minister of Water and Environment, Minister of Agriculture and Internal Affairs, and give us a feedback in the next 2 weeks. Thank you. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have student leaders of the Guild of Council of YMCA Comprehensive Institute from Kampala Central Division. And they are represented by Honorable Malende, Shamim, and Honorable Nsereko Mohammed. You're most welcome. Thank you for coming. Join me in welcoming them. Honorable members, join me in welcoming the students. In the public gallery still this afternoon, we have a delegation of the district councillors from Lamo district. They are represented by Honorable Achora Nancy. Honorable Achora Nancy is here. You're most welcome. And Nakawere, she has a baby called Anita Mom. And Honorable Okulo Abuka, welcome. And then Honorable Onek Hillary. Thank you for sending us very, very good people. Thank you. Next.
Item 4.3, statement by Minister on the commemoration of 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, 2023.
Honorable members, the 16 days of activism against the gender-based violence is an international campaign that commenced on 25th of November, and the International Day of this for the elimination of violence against women ends on 10th December. That will be the Human Rights Day. Honorable members, this is a very important aspect. I wish I was the minister to avoid, I would have sat. Honorable members, this is a very important aspect in creating awareness and accountability on the steps that have been taken to eliminate the gender-based violence. And when we talk about gender-based violence, it's not about women alone. It is also men. You find Father Nen will be there saying he has been tortured. So it is about men and women, it's gender. As you are aware, the gender-based violence remains an aspect in the community. It's a very important, a challenging aspect in the community, and we must eliminate it. Today we have a report from the Minister of Gender, and she's going to make a presentation to that effect. Honorable Minister.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving us the opportunity to present a statement on the status of gender-based violence. But allow me, first of all, to congratulate you upon adding to our constituents at the ministry, specifically responsible for children affairs. And congratulations and happy birthday. We also want to thank the team which came from Kenya, from the ministry, from the Committee of Gender and Social Development and Labor, which has been benchmarking on our positive ways of managing externalization of labor. We have also learned a lot from them. Right, Honorable Speaker, I wish to note that the purpose of this statement is to apprise Parliament on the commemoration of the 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence 2023. Background to the 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence. The 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence is a global campaign that was inaugurated in 1991, spearheaded by Women Global Leadership Institute, a program at Rutgers University in New Jersey, USA, which trains women in leadership based on global good practices. The campaign has since grown globally and is marked with a wide range of activities organized by various stakeholders. This year, 2023, marks 32 years from the time we started mobilizing and campaigning in these 16 days. In 2008, the United Nations Secretary General launched another initiative called Unite, End Violence Against Women by 2030. That reinforces the 16 days of activism campaign. The Unite campaign calls for global action to increase awareness, galvanize advocacy efforts, share knowledge, and innovative measures to address gender-based violence. The government of Uganda, under the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, joined the global campaign in 2008 and has since utilized the campaign annually as an advocacy and mobilization strategy for raising public awareness on gender-based violence and its implications to national development, influencing behavior change, and securing high-level political and social commitments to end impunity. The campaign has served as a call to action to ensure that comprehensive services, including protection, medical, legal, and psychosocial services, are available to survivors of gender-based violence. The campaign also contributes to the efforts to deliver on the international, regional, and national commitments on gender equality and women empowerment, which include the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, Goal 5 specifically on gender equality, Vision 2040, and the third National Development Plan, among others. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, the 16 days of activism campaign commenced on the 25th of November, which is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, with a national launch, which flags of various activities at national and district level in line with the national theme, and ends on the 10th of December, which is the Human Rights Day. Since 2008, Uganda has been engaged in this campaign, and the following impacts have been realized. 1, increased public awareness on gender-based violence as a human right, public health, economic, and social issue at family, community, and national level. 2, increased reporting of cases of gender-based violence from 39.5% in 2013 to 70% in 2021. 43% of these survivors were seeking for help to end gender-based violence. This information is sourced from the National Survey on Violence Against Women and Girls 2021, UBOS. This has been attributed to the innovative approaches the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has undertaken to roll out a toll-free line, 116, Safe Pearl Apple, and a robust referral pathway for violence against children and gender-based violence. 3, increased access to quality services by survivors, victims of gender-based violence through the current 21 gender-based violence shelters, with a well-coordinated and integrated services. These include temporary accommodation, psychosocial support, legal aid, medical examination, and treatment, resettlement, and reintegration to communities. So far, 46,481 survivors have sought support in the 21 gender-based violence shelters, and of which 40,714 are female and 5,766 were male. And out of all those, 443 were persons with disabilities. The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development has enhanced dialogue with key actors, including religious and cultural leaders, as custodians of social cultural norms for transformative approaches to gender-based violence prevention and response. As a result, 16 cultural institutions have made declarations and pronouncements to combat all negative cultural norms and practices which reinforce gender-based violence in Uganda. 5, strengthened local initiatives and networks to stakeholders to address gender-based violence. At grassroots level, the Male Action Group, survivor support groups, social workers, and paralegal have been helpful in offering support to the victims of gender-based violence through making referral, counseling, and whistleblowing. 6, enhanced accountability by the government and stakeholders on actions to address gender-based violence. Various institutions of government and non-state actors are well coordinated to deliver justice to the survivors, victims of gender-based violence. The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development coordinates well the offices of the Director of Public Prosecution, Judiciary, Police, to ensure perpetrators are brought to book. As a result, in 2022, 14,693 sex-related crimes were reported to police. 5,461 cases were taken to court. 942 cases were not proceeded with, while 8,290 cases are still under inquiry, and 224 cases have secured conviction. This information is generated from the Annual Crime Police Report 2022. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, this year's global theme is Unite, Invest to Prevent and Respond to Violence Against Women and Girls. Uganda has adopted this global theme as the national theme. It calls upon all Unite networks, civil society, and women's rights organizations working with men and boys, and the UN system, the General Equality Action Coalition, the government partners, the human rights defenders, academia, private sector, associations, and individuals to step up and support different prevention strategies to stop violence from occurring in the first place, as well as provide appropriate response and services to the reported cases of violence. This year's campaign theme is also aligned to the 2024 priority theme of the Commission on the Status of Women, which is focused on accelerating the achievements of gender equality and empowerment of all women and girls by addressing poverty and strengthening institutions and financing with gender perspective. The Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development is coordinating organizations of the national launch and bringing together all stakeholders, including government, ministries, and departments, development partners, civil society organizations, private sector, religious and traditional institutions, in planning the 16 days of activism campaign against gender-based violence across the country. There are emerging causes of gender-based violence in the modern era. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, while the government and all stakeholders, all citizens have been addressing and focusing on the traditional ways and practices of violence, of late with the modernity, the new and emerging ways of gender-based violence are highlighted here as follows. Child neglect, abandonment has increased, emotional violence amongst children and women. About 1,791 cases, which accounts to 51%, 51.6% male and 45% female, reported on child toll-free line, Sauti, which is being managed by the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. And as you can see, more male than females have faced this neglect from parents. Cyber harassment, which includes terrifying, intimidating, humiliating, threatening, harassment, and stalking women specifically. Separate poll that was conducted in August 2019 by United Nations report reveals that about 4,054 aged between 15 to 24 years old across the country said they have been victims of violence by cyberbullying. And those that reported specifically were females. This has increased emotional violence, mental health, depression, and suicide cases. 3, refugee influx and urban refugees. Adults and young women reported that domestic violence is present in refugee camps or refugee households and is highlighted by livelihood challenges and economic pressures. This has increased tension in the households, psychosocial trauma that can translate into aggression towards family members. And as a consequence, young girls between ages of 13 and 14 resort to sex activism to fend for themselves. The poor parenting patterns among the elite class, including ourselves. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, this is due to work-life balance. Parenting and children care has been substituted with work-related excuses. It's challenging today for modern parents to spare time for children. This has caused serious negligence in child upbringing, which in turn causes permanent mental torture for parents and children. Parents need to spare time off their busy schedules to nurture children into responsible citizens. Urbanization. Uganda is presently experiencing fast urbanization and transformation of its urban form in all areas of the country. Young people are selling productive land to settle in small towns without life skill to derive a sustainable livelihood. This has negatively impacted to such families because they are failing to provide the basic necessities, and partly this contributes to the high cases of child neglect, street children, and sexual violence like child marriage and teenage pregnancies. Of late, Right Honorable Speaker, we have even street grandfathers. They started as street children. They had children on the streets. Now they have grandchildren on the streets. And all efforts, many of our efforts to take them back to their original areas have turned futile because they are used to an environment where they're getting free money. Climate change. The lack of fuel and poor harvests exacerbated by climate change has increased the burden on women and girls. Women often bear the primary responsibility of cooking. So the lack of energy supply and food stresses and offers a lot of challenge to girls whose responsibility and women whose responsibility is to make food and present it on the table. Sugarcane growing in areas of Vosoga, especially to people with small land holdings, has contributed to food shortage in the sub-region. This has consequently triggered the high rate of domestic violence, child neglect, teenage pregnancies, and child marriages in search for food. Right, Honorable Speaker, you'll find a number of markets in the evening which stretch up to night in those areas, and the girls are not spared in the course of either transacting business that is legal, illegal businesses of sexual exchanges for money also comes in. The magnitude of gender-based violence in Uganda. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, gender-based violence is a widespread in Uganda, and it affects all people irrespective of their social, economic, and political status. It occurs in families, communities, workplaces, and institutions. The lifetime prevalence of intimate partner violence and physical violence among the ever-patterned women was 45%, the highest being in Acholi sub-region, 78%, and sexual violence was 36%, with the highest being in same Acholi sub-region, and Bukedi, 61%. The lifetime prevalence of physical and sexual violence, or both, by intimate partners stands now at 56%. In Uganda, about half of the women face economic violence, 47%. 2 in every 10 women, which accounts to 23%, are forced to give their earnings to their partners. According to the Uganda Police Force Annual Crime Report 2022, a total of 1,693 sex-related cases were reported to police, and of which 12,580 were defilement cases. Out of 14,795 persons that were victims of sex-related crimes, 12,816 were female juveniles, 33 were male juveniles, while 1,946 were female adults. A total of 18,549 people were victims of domestic violence, of whom 3,728 were male adults, 13,052 were female adults, and 8,819 were male juvenile, while 950 were female juvenile. The 2022 Uganda Demographic and Health Survey further reveals that up to 16% of women aged between 15 to 49 in the country has experienced some form of sexual violence. The report also reveals that 24% of women aged between 15 to 19 are mothers or pregnant with their firstborn. Right, Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform you and the House that the objective of the campaign for this year would be to, 1, invite everyone as an ally in preventing violence against women through taking a strong stand like you have already expressed, right, Honorable Speaker, and I want to thank you for being our ally in this fight and struggle. Publicly, to report cases of violence against women and girls, and to raise awareness of violence against women and girls and its implications to families, communities, and overall national development. To call for action for increased long-term sustainable investment firm, government, private sector, foundations, and other donors to women's rights organizations working to end violence against women and girls. Right Honorable Speaker, a number of NGOs, civil society organizations, which deal with gender closed during the COVID-19 period, and now they are looking for help. And if Parliament can also put aside some of the bonanza money I have had to support such organizations, it would be nice and to be giving back to the community. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm told we are going to make a good deal. So if it is a good deal, there's nothing wrong with giving back to the community. Advocate for workplace policies and measures that ensure women's economic security and safety. Mobilize government, development partners, philanthropic, private sector, universities, and all actors to join the Generation Equality Action Coalition on gender-based violence and make tangible policy, pragmatic and financial commitments to accelerate transformative action to end all forms of gender-based violence against women and girls. I wish to inform the House, Right Honorable Speaker, that this year's national launch of the 16 Days of Activism campaign will be held on the 24th of November, 2023 at Siribi Primary School, Boyare Town Council, Chiriandongo District. The selection of Chiriandongo District was informed by the high number of refugees around there and IDP camp, which still exists, and also because of the big market that operates day and night along that road in the township. But also the highest level of pregnancy exists around Kiriandongo, teenage pregnancy specifically. Right Honorable Speaker, it's my humble appeal to you and to the honorable members to participate in this campaign through various events being organized at the national and district level, as indicated on Annex 1 on the planned activities. The Annex 1, which I will want to highlight, but that's not its limitations because everybody is called upon to join this struggle in your respective districts. One, we have the national launch on the 24th of November in Chiriandongo. Two, we have newspaper supplements and publications to launch this day. And the Ministry of Gender, Monitor, newspaper, and the Embassy of Sweden are handling that from 24th to the 10th of December. Launch of Uganda Kotla chapter strategic plan under the Ministry of Gender, but is run by the National Culture Forum and the cultural institutions of Uganda. This will be on the 29th of November. Social media campaign will go on throughout the period. And media center and media companies have also indicated they will support us in that struggle. The National Symposium on Ending Child Marriage and Teenage Pregnancy will be managed by Ministry of Gender and Action Aid on the 28th of November. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for the statement, and it is a straightforward statement. And when you listen to what the minister is saying, it remains a responsibility of both of us to ensure that we eliminate, we curb down the gender-based violence. And of course, when we talk about the gender-based violence, the boy child has always been left out. The boy child is as endangered as the girl child. If you cannot be able to look after the boy child, this is the boy child who is going to come to be your in-law tomorrow. So you're better off having responsibility and taking care of both the boy child and the girl child. And we should not abandon the boys because they are more endangered. When you look at the depression, of recent I've been seeing students committing suicide. Why? You'll find behind it there's a problem at home. There's gender violence. You look at the psychological trauma that these people go through. It is not an easy thing, especially when you get your father such cool fighting with your mother. You cannot settle at school. You will be psychologically tortured, and so many of these street children are coming out of the gender-based issues. The street children you see in the streets there, the Butabika that you're talking about is full of those issues of gender-based violence. You'll find Butabika is full of children with parents who are elite. And you will find some of these children have dropped out of school. Why? The gender-based violence. Nobody will be able to pay school fees. It will disorganize the family. The drug use. These children end up going to take drugs and that kind of thing. And then it leads into a mental torture and then the high crime rate. There are some streets that you can't pass because they are street children and they will try their best to grab to get a survival for themselves. Why? Because we have failed to eliminate, to curb down the gender-based violence. So it is our responsibility to make sure that we do that. And when you look at it, there's what they call Team No Sleep, the sexual harassment of this. Anita, you know Team No Sleep. Some of these girls end up selling themselves in the streets because they have nowhere to be. They must earn a living. So you've go hard from the minister, and that is that. Yes, Matt. Atat.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I have moved from Emat to Atat. Before I make any comment on this presentation, Right Honorable Speaker, I understand you have moved to your next level of age, and I want to congratulate you and to let you know that I wish you were born on the 22nd of November, because some of you who are Catholics here, you know that 22nd November is when we celebrate Saint Cecilia Day. And it would have been perfect. But all the same, you missed by just one day. And we are praying to Saint Cecilia to send anointing to fall over you. Right Honorable Speaker, I've listened to the presentation of the minister. It's all about telling us the causes and all that of gender-based violence. And we have been involved in this exercise every year. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a second part of the report which has not been given to us. I want to know from the ministry, how have we improved on gender-based violence since we started this initiative? How have we improved? How have we involved holistically the population? Right Honorable Speaker, if you look at the last part of the report, the activities which are coming up, these are activities which are targeting people who are exposed to social media, newspapers, or radios, and so on. But when you talk about gender-based violence, Right Honorable Speaker, I did not want to interrupt your conversation with my senior brother. When we talk about gender-based violence, we are aware, all of us who are representatives of our people. The worst targets are the rural women. The most affected are the rural women. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I don't see any of these activities touching the rural women. So I'm anxiously waiting, Right Honorable Speaker, if you can guide the ministry when we can get another part of the story telling us how we are progressed, and they can also tell us what are the activities designed by government and by local government in addressing those strategic areas. Right Honorable Speaker, I think it is high time that Parliament gets involved, because we are treated to so many stories and causes and so on, and lamentations. But I think we want to make an impact. How can we address that disaster and change the life of that rural girl who is subjected to abuse every day? How can we change it?
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you need to do an impact assessment to see whether we are moving on the positive or on the negative. But also, much as I agree that the affected are the rural women, but the most affected are also the elites. The town, these town persons. If you get a person, you get a stubborn woman like Anita, who will really. Honorable members, domestic violence is everywhere. Actually, the rural women are even better because they're used to living in that kind of life. But now in the town life, they can really harass these men. Yes, Omoro. Andrew.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Allow me also join the team in wishing happy birthday and congratulations. Right Honorable Speaker, I will listen to the report by the minister, and I want to thank her for the report. And you have guided very well that gender-based violence is not just for the girl child. And yet, if you review the affirmative action policy that the government has taken into place, over time, we have created a very disfranchised boy child in terms of education, in terms of healthcare, in terms of employment. Because you look at the affirmative action, especially in the political arena, you find where there's a district and it's just women, and they're all very empowered women. So the boy child is trying to get back onto the drawing board. So how do we help the boy child? Yes, it's good to help the girl child. We know they've suffered. According to our constitution, they've been marginalized for a long time. How can we bring the boy child back on board? If you look at the suicide rates, the boy child is always among in the top statistics. Alcohol abuse. If you look at drug abuse, suicide, basically mental health cases, the boy child is still topping. Why is that the trend? Can we see how to reverse this and also bring us back on board? Empowering the girl child does not mean disempowering the boy child. Can we have them both empowered to walk the journey together? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Which also brings in the mindset change. Achan?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I was following on Zoom as I was coming here because we had a meeting that delayed me somewhere on PWDs and why I rise up to speak on the behalf of PWDs. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for the statement. However, I didn't speak quite clearly about the GBV on persons with disabilities. We get so many cases of gender-based violence, on both gender, means male and female.
The name
and
is Achan. Honorable members, clerk, she's Achan Judith, not Joyce Ocheng. Okay.
We get so many cases of violence on persons with disabilities. And these are categories of people who are unable to report these cases to police because of the means of transport that they don't have or the type of disabilities that they have. So I would really love to hear the minister speak on that category of people, how we can help them easily access, first of all, is informations and then justices from that process of reporting cases that they are being violated on.
Thank you.
I beg to submit.
Honourable members, let's limit the time because it's almost Prime Minister's time. David, again, David, Kahonda.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity given to me. Let me also join the rest of the members to thank God for you for the big blessing in the family. Madam Speaker, I also want to thank the Minister for the statement. And indeed, it is true that the issue of gender-based violence is a serious issue in the country. And of course, it is the responsibility of the different parents to take the initiative and combat the challenges that they're going through. Madam Speaker, I wanted to ask the Minister, what is it that the ministry are doing as far as coming up with a comprehensive program to combat some of our young girls and daughters who are masquerading along the streets? If you go to so many cities, even in Kampala here, you find so many young girls from the family masquerading as prostitutes. And it's really very shaming to see our daughters are shaming us on the streets. I wanted to find out the program the ministry has put in place to combat some of those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, before you say they are shaming you, you need to know why they are there. How did they come there? And why don't you try your best to ensure that these people don't shame you by taking responsibility as a man and provide what these girls want?
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister of Gender for the statement. But Right Honorable Speaker, in the statement, I expected the interventions and actions taken by government. Because Right Honorable Speaker, when you look at the activities in the 16 days of activism, mostly they are funded by donors. And all the activities, even in an effort to fight gender-based violence, it is donor funded. We need to see government. Where is the government in this? Right Honorable Speaker, I think we need to strengthen, especially the Department of Community Development officers at the district level. And also the ministry itself. When you look at the funding that is given, allocated to the ministry in addressing all these issues. I've ever worked with the ministry as a gender officer for UPDF. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a gap. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, as a community, we need to look at the parenting. We are now going for holidays, but most of the parents, they are going to send children to relatives, to strangers, and at the end of the day, gender-based violence. Even sending children to shops, to relatives at night, especially the girls. We needed to address these concerns. Right Honorable Speaker, when you look at access to justice, she has reported that out of 14,693 cases, 942 cases were not proceeded. This is where parents of the girls, and especially on sexual violence.
Thank you, absentee parents. When you, Agnes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Agnes Kayunga.
I take the opportunity to congratulate you and wish you a happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, on Wednesday last week, I was privileged to officiate at one of the activities to mark the 16 days of activism in Buchiri district. And I wish to thank the minister for the report. However, the young women and girls had issues that I would like to put forward for the minister and government to come in to intervene, to help them. And firstly, is about those that have dropped out of school, some of them out of pregnancy, and they have children. They say, as much as government has provided education, the universal primary education and youth, some of them, when they give birth, they are chased away by their parents from the homes. So they have found it difficult to go back to school because there is fees that is asked for by these schools. And you find that right now in most of the schools, there is school fees that they cannot afford, almost to a level even of private schools. So they request for government to intervene in that matter. The other is
they want government to pay fees for them. No, I'm just asking a clarification.
Right, Honorable Speaker, it was assumed that in universal primary education,
Yes, Richard.
children were supposed to attend school without paying fees. However, right now in every school, you find a school of UPE paying 100,000 per term, or yes, and it is too much for them to pay. Right, Honorable Speaker, the other
honorable members, I want you to appreciate the government that you're in. That when you drop out of school, don't expect too much. Don't expect too much that the government is going to pay school fees for you because you're one of those. I was going to use a Luchiga word, but you're one of those who decided to get out of school and start producing too early. I mean, government doesn't have money. You are the ones who appropriate. So tell me, do you have a vote for that? You have a vote for schools. Yes, that money is there. You give schools money, but we cannot have a special fund for that. What we can do is the ministry should arrange and have a skilling project for these girls. Because you find most of them cannot even go back to school. They have a responsibility of looking after the baby and that kind of thing. But if you have a project for these young girls who produce early, who also have babies upon a baby, because the girl herself is a baby and then she has a baby on top of a baby, you need to get something that will help them look after the babies. And I think the ministry, you need to look at that.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the issues were many. That was just one of them. And the other is the one that you've just talked about, the one of skilling. They request that the skilling centers be distributed equally in the districts so that they can access skilling, and even the women that the local women can access some skills to give them some source of income to empower them. The other is about...
We have another person, Agnes. We are running out of time.
Right,
Prime
Honorable
Minister's
Kayonga.
time. Kayonga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to join the rest of the colleagues who have congratulated you upon attaining that double job. We thank God for that. And we pray for more twins. Yes, she has just started on twins.
Honorable members, so many cows were paid, so I've just started.
Amen. Amen. Right, Honorable. Right, Honorable, we have enacted laws. We have legislated on behalf of the boy child and for the girl child. But recently I was challenged when I was invited to a meeting which was addressing issues of persons that are born intersex. They are born with two genitalia. They have the organs of a woman and the organs of a man on one person. And Right Honorable,
Actually,
it
they
was-
call them hermaphrodites.
that's another term, Right Honorable.
No, that is the English word. The medical word, hermaphrodite.
Thank you, Right
Susan,
Honorable.
isn't that the word? Susan, isn't
It
that
is
the-
intersex, Right Honorable. Right Honorable, we interfaced with these people. They shared with us the challenges they go through, and they are immense. And Right Honorable, one of them was even identification itself. To be identified as either a male or a female is another challenge for them. And many of them told us they cannot even be issued with identity cards because NERA cannot identify what gender they belong to.
I hope the homosexuals are not using them.
No,
I hope.
No, Right Honorable.
Let me hear from information.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to call upon my colleagues, the Honorable Nantava inclusive, to note that these people have existed since time immemorial. And you all know that we have the LGBTQ, the I applies to the intersex. We have to be very careful with what is going on now. I asked this question, why now? When we are even in court. So Right Honorable Speaker, I just want to inform this House that we held a meeting with the doctors. This is a medical condition that can actually be handled. And one of the things that should be done is to ensure that they have funding, because it is expensive for the parents of these children to pay for the corrective surgery. So what needs to be done is that we need to appropriate funds so that the Ministry of Health the funds can be in some specialized hospitals where these children can access the services free. Otherwise, we are not going to have another gender. We have male and female, full stop, as created by God. That's the information that I want.
Right Honorable, allow me
Thank you.
to respond to my sister's concern, well knowing my stand and position when it comes to homosexuality and the LGBTQ agenda. It is indeed true that when the homosexuals wanted people to rally against the agenda, rally for the agenda, they co-opted for the intersex persons, such that they would have a big number of people who can rally behind the agenda, such that they can drive it to the end. But it has been realized by even the medical teams she's talking about, that these people are saying we were wrongly included in the LGBTQI agenda because we don't belong there. For us, we are naturally born with two, for them, they were saying, they were naturally born with two genitalia, and therefore they do not belong to the homosexual agenda. And I want my sister to differentiate between the two agendas. And,
Thank you.
Right Honorable, allow me to drive my point home. Because we are neglecting and ignoring a group of people that have no home, even in our laws, even in our constitution. They have not found a place to hang in. And Right Honorable, I'm requesting that you even interact with these people. I was behind Sarah's version. That's what I knew. That's the view I upheld before I met them. But I have met these people in Serena. We were there with so many members of parliament, and we shed tears because young children were there testifying they are born with two, they can't be even in school, they are bullied, even when they are arrested. Right, Honorable?
Allow me, please. Because this is a different one. Right, Honorable, the girl child and the boy child has been catered for in our laws. But these are people who are neglected completely. Yes, they have been there from time immemorial, but time has come for us to think about them because they are young children. They cry.
Can I ask you?
Yes, Right Honorable.
Do they arise out of a gender-based violence?
Right Honorable.
Eh?
Right Honorable, you will allow her, but let her allow me to finish. Right Honorable, this was a different platform where we were specifically,
There's an order from Honorable Cecilia.
Right Honorable Speaker, we are dealing right now, we are discussing the issue of gender-based violence. I want us to get it clear, including the Minister of Gender. We are dealing with the issue of gender-based violence. But the matter which is being brought by the member holding the floor does not, I've been listening, does not seem to relate to gender-based violence.
Because I haven't given my point home.
However, the gender we are dealing.
Doctor, can you help me with the
I know where she's heading to. I've attended several of those meetings. We do appreciate the challenges those people have, but it has no relationship whatsoever to gender-based violence. So can that matter, Right Honorable Speaker? Maybe you can bring it to us. Right Honorable Speaker, what they call the human rights activists who have gone beyond the board. They are talking about this issue. They want to bring it to us so that we begin to rethink about the law we are passed. But when we passed that law, we were very clear what we wanted. We were very clear on that matter. So please, as members of parliament, let us defend the image of the institution of parliament. We passed that law ourselves. The whole world is condemning us. But Right Honorable Speaker, maybe the Minister of Foreign Affairs didn't tell you. Uganda is not alone. The signing which should have taken place
Which law did we pass? What was the law?
The homosexuality, the anti-homosexuality law.
Did you have I? Did you have I in the law?
No, we don't have. We
So
have
if
Q.
we don't have I in the law,
we have Q, but we don't have I.
don't have I.
So, Right Honorable Speaker, let us be clear to isolate the difference between the I and the Q. They have even brought other new elements, but we don't want to discuss them now. Maybe the Speaker will give us time. Is it therefore in order, Right Honorable Speaker, for the Honorable Member to continue misleading the House to talk about homosexuality issue or intersex issue when we should be dealing with gender-based violence? Is he in order?
Honorable members, this document was more of informative. And the best thing that I've got was on the impact assessment since we started this program. And we've looked at all the challenges that we are going through, all the causes of gender-based violence, and we also appreciate that the marginalized gender should not only be the women, but it should be both the women and the men. Because you find these women like Susan there will slap a man and you'll find, you get it? The men are suffering in silence. Huh? These men are suffering in silence. So the boy child should be treated the same way you treat the girl child. And as I said before, if you don't handle this boy child well, this is the boy child who is coming to marry your daughter. And you not want a traumatized in-law, in-law who is a thug and that kind of thing. So let's embrace this and make sure that we try our best to eliminate the gender-based violence. and putting in mind. I am giving these remarks because I know the Prime Minister wants to go and it is her time. And you gave her the time in the rules of procedure at 4. We're even sorry that we have spent your minutes. We will continue the debate after she has presented. Thank you so much. And honorable members who have matters of national importance like Giovanni's, when the Prime Minister is presenting, bring you all your issues and the whole Prime Minister will answer.
Item 5, statement on government business for the succeeding week, 28th to the 30th of November 2023.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, allow me to also join colleagues in wishing you a happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, I move under Rule 28 to submit the following government business for the succeeding week. That is 28th to 30th November this year. One is the statement by the Minister for Presidency on the commemoration of the World AIDS Day. Number 2 is the Minister of Health to present a statement on the injectable HIV drugs in Uganda. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, and as you make a presentation for number 2, injectable HIV drug, there's a lot of excitement outside there. People want to do away with the ARVs. They even want to do away with the condoms. So people want to know. Me, I'm talking what is outside there. So we expect that report. We expect that report to be exhaustive, and it should not be like we are going. It should be we are doing it. Thank you. Next item.
Item 6, Prime Minister's time.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Honorable Max Ochai, West Budama, he gave a long preamble, which I want to read, that in 2022-23 financial year, the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development issued to Uganda National Roads Authority, UNRA, a warrant of expenditure under wage recurrent expenditure item number 225203 in feasibility studies and detailed engineering design of 16 billion 46 million 480 96 shillings. These funds were to finance inter area an in-house feasibility study and a detailed engineering design for the upgrade of Tororo Nagongera Busore Road, which is approximately 44 kilometers. Prioritized in the National Development Plan 3 and the 2021-2026 NRM Manifesto. Honorable Speaker, according to Honorable, by 30th June 2023, UNRA had spent 15 billion 155 million 89,380 shillings only. This resulted in the miscarriage of the in-house feasibility study and detailed engineering design for the upgrade of Tororo Nagongera Busore Road. His prayer that what steps has UNRA taken to request Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for the supplemental allocation of part of the Uganda shillings 891
shillings 390, 718 shillings that they did not spend in the financial year 2022-2023 to conclude the in-house feasibility study and detailed engineering design for the upgrade of Tororo Nagongera Busore Road. His other concern is what measures has the Ministry of Works and Transport put in place to address the non-responsiveness of UNRA to the upgrade of the Tororo Nagongera Busore Road. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the answer is quite long, but the actual answer is on page 4. That I would like to assure the House that the Tororo Nagongera Busore is a part of our programmed studies to be undertaken this financial year, that's 2023-2024, and that the government is committed to utilizing the available resources to invest in the development.
Honorable members, when your Prime Minister is speaking, you don't make noise in the corridor.
That Honorable Speaker, I just wanted to inform members that government is committed to utilizing the available resources to invest in the development of the necessary stock of infrastructure to support the socio-economic transformation of Uganda. So that road will be worked on this financial year. The feasibility study. Honorable Apollo Yeri, Member of Parliament, Tororo Municipality. Uganda Cooperative College Tororo is the only college which gives certificates and diplomas in Uganda in cooperatives. Formerly, it was Chigumba Cooperative College, but they have uplifted Chigumba Cooperative College. It's now awarding degrees. Government sent 600 million to Tororo Municipal Area June this year for development works, and they could not utilize the money in such a short period when the financial year was closing, and that money was returned to the consolidated fund. His prayer, will the money be remitted back to Tororo Municipal for the mission development purpose? The Honorable Speaker, the second last paragraph the first paragraph, it is that all these funds have been reverted through a supplementary budget and has been released as part of the second quarter releases this financial year. So the money is already with the municipal council. Number 3, Right Honorable, I want to save time. I'm looking at where there is the answer and give to members so that we can save on time. Honorable Atiam Emmanuel Otara, Member of Parliament, West Budama South, that he has received complaints from young mothers in his constituents who visit health centers for antenatal care services, that they are required to make the visits along with their spouses, or provide LC letters explaining the absence of their husbands if they are unable to go with the spouses. That this requirement has proved to be a deterrent to young mothers without proper husbands, or those who have been denied by those who impregnated them from accessing antenatal care services, and is therefore aggravating maternal mortality in the country. His prayer is that can the ministry, or should the Minister of Health visit the health facilities in West Budama South, including Riowa Health Center 3, Poyamel Health Center 3, Panyangasi Health Center 3, and Fungwe Health Center 2, among others, to assess the status of antenatal care services in these facilities. That the Ministry of Health explains to the country what informed the adoption of such a policy, and that the Ministry of Health rescinds that policy with immediate effect and further guide health workers on the provision of antenatal care services to curb this anomaly. Number 4, that the Ministry of Health works out a strategy for universal access of antenatal care services in the country. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, my response is that antenatal care is a critical component of safe motherhood. Government, through the Ministry of Health, recommends that all pregnant mothers receive 8 or more antenatal care services contacts before delivery. And each contact is given different health care packages to ensure the good health of the mother and the baby. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, all health facilities, government hospitals in Uganda must offer routine antenatal care services to pregnant mothers. It is emphasized but not mandatory in the National Antenatal Care Services guidelines that spouses should accompany their pregnant women to receive antenatal care, but also receive health packages for the husband, such as screening for HIV and sexually transmitted infections. It is therefore against this background that the National Antenatal Care Service guidelines emphasize spouses or husbands to accompany their women during antenatal care contacts. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Ministry of Health, in a circular dated 4th October 2023, addressed to the health managers in the regions and districts, emphasized the importance of strengthening the quality of antenatal health care as one of the ways to improve maternal and newborn health indicators. The government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Health, will work with district health teams to conduct technical support supervisions in West Budama, focusing on antenatal care services to ensure that all facilities are offering quality health care. Number 4, this question came from Honorable Nakato Mary Annette, District Woman Representative Buyende. She raised a matter concerning the construction of Kampala Express Way to help in decongesting the Jinja Highway. I think this is Kampala Jinja Expressway. To decongest the Jinja Highway that is always full of traffic jam. Her prayer is, can government update the House on this matter? Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Kampala Jinja Expressway Road is part of the National Road Network and is managed by the Ministry of Works and Transport through Uganda National Roads Authority. The government of Uganda initiated the development of the proposed Kampala Jinja Expressway to improve the connection between Kampala and Jinja cities. The proposed project includes the construction of the 74-kilometer from Kampala to Jinja and 20 kilometer of the Kampala Southern Bypass. The Kampala Jinja section will include 8 lanes for the first 3 kilometers and 6 lanes for the next 17 kilometers and 4 lanes for the remaining 54 kilometers. The Kampala South Bypass will have 4 lanes for 20 kilometers connecting the Northern Bypass at Nambole National Stadium to the Kampala Entebbe Express Spa at Munyonyo. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Kampala Jinja Expressway project is to be undertaken as a public-private partnership, PPP, in accordance with PPP Act of 2015. The private partner will finance, design, construct, and operate and maintain the road for 30 years. The procurement process for the right private sector partner is ongoing and is expected to be completed by the end of this financial year. Once the procurement is done, the works will commence after the developer has secured the private capital required for the construction works. The construction period is planned to take 5 years. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, in preparation for the construction works, the government of Uganda is currently acquiring the land for the project. So far, the land required for 44 kilometers has been acquired. This includes 14 kilometers along the southern bypass and 30 kilometers along the Kampala-Jinja main line. The progress of the compensation has been slowed down by some challenges, for example, lack of ownership documents and contestation of ownership. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, by December 2024, the government targets to have acquired the full section from Kampala to Namagunga and the whole Kampala southern bypass. The rest of the land from Namagunga to Jinja is planned to be acquired by December 2025. In the meantime, government will continue to maintain the existing Kampala-Jinja road in a motorable condition and to ensure the smooth flow of traffic along that route. I would like to assure you and honorable members and the public that government of Uganda is committed to ensuring that the Kampala-Jinja Expressway project is implemented to improve the efficiency of Uganda's transport infrastructure. Number 5, Honorable Kibaria Henry Morris, Bugabula South. He raised the matter concerning a group of people that migrate and settled in Namwenda sub-county dealing in money laundering business and harassing members of the community. His prayer is that can the Prime Minister inform him whether government is aware of these money lenders in Kamuli? That Honorable Speaker and the colleagues, Kamuli district is one of the districts in Busoga sub-region. It has 14 sub-counties, 6 counties. That is Namwendwa, Namayingo, Kasozi, Ulawoli, Kisambira, and Mbulamuti. The 4 constituents are Bugabula North, Bugabula South, Buzaya, and the Kamuli municipality. The total population is approximately 446,000 people. The main economic activity is farming, and the main crops grown are sugarcane, rice, and the people need money to boost their farming activities. Thus, they need to get loans from money lenders. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, there are 32 registered money lenders in the Kamuli district. They demand for the borrower's national ID as part of security for the loan. Other lenders demand for household items like chairs, fridges, etc. In the case of defaulting in making payments, they grab the properties and in some instances, illegally detain them. I've attached a list of money lenders in the Kamuli district. Honorable Speaker, the District Security Committee embarked on mass sensitization to locals to desist from using national IDs as collateral to reinforce the guidance recently given by the Ministry of Internal Affairs. The money lenders or the money lending entities who indulge in the holding of borrowers and national identity cards will also be henceforth dealt with as the law demands. Honorable Speaker, number 6, Etuka Isaac, Upper Madi. He raised a matter concerning the delayed construction of Ofaka, Anyiribu, Ewang, and Rigbo Secondary School in Madiokoro district under the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion. His prayer, can the Right Honorable Prime Minister update the House on the matter? My response, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, is that the government of Uganda, in partnership with World Bank, is implementing the Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project, USEP, in the sector of education and sports. This project will fund the construction of 116 new seed schools in the sub-counties without any public school, and the expansion of 61 existing schools in the refugee hosting districts. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the policy requires that districts select which sub-counties should take priority in benefiting from the project. And the Madiokoro local government fronted Ewang, Rigibo, and Anyiribu sub-counties are the most suitable for the new construction phase, and Ofaka for the expansion phase. That is it. For the construction, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, for the construction to take place, the site needs to have fulfilled all the criteria required as stipulated by the Ministry of Finance in the budget call circular of February 2022. And these are a land title in the names of the school, a land size measuring 5 acres, and more, and land use should be restricted to institutions or schools. The ministry on 15th August 2023 received 3 land titles from the proposed sites in Madiokoro, namely Ewang, Rigbo, and Anyiribu, where new construction of the schools is going to take place. The 4th site of that one, which is to benefit under the expansion phase, has not yet presented the title to the ministry. The Honorable Speaker and colleagues, upon receipt of a title, the ministry undertakes a series of surveys, including the following: 1, topographic, to ascertain how structures will be placed; geotechnical, to assess the soil characteristics to determine the structures to be built; cadastral, confirm that the land title matches the land on the ground; and hydrogeological, to assess availability of underground water for borehole drilling. These surveys inform the preparation of site-specific bidding documents. The advert for inviting of bids for the construction under Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project is expected to run by 15th December this year. Honorable Speaker, it is adherence to this due process and the need for adequate preparation that has led to the delayed construction in Madiokoro. Number 7, Honorable Faith Nakut Napak. She raised the matter concerning the attesting and jailing of people by the Ministry of Works and Transport in Napaka district who were found in possession of items allegedly belonging to Uganda Railway Corporation, and the extortion of the victims by Uganda police. her prayer, she wants me to update the House. My response, Right Honorable Speaker, is that on 17th August 2023, there was a joint operation conducted by both Railway Police and UPDF. During the operation, 9 suspects were apprehended, namely Ibra Kalista, Bara Charles, Akoro Dennis, Sonko Desan, Wandawa Odeke, Abdu, Odong Francis, Ojaret John, Dawan Daniel, and Walusimbi Ismail. These suspects were found in possession of 6 cut pieces of rails, case file of being in possession of stolen rail materials has been opened up via URC Soroti SD 19/17/08/23 and subsequently CRB 13/2023, which was later wrong submitted to the resident state attorney for his legal opinion. Exhibited railway materials were found in their possession. The case file was withdrawn from RSA's office before it could be acted upon by the office of the regional CID East Choga on grounds that the OC Railway of Soroti neither had the jurisdiction to investigate cases nor submitting them to resident state attorney. The regional CID, however, hadn't taken over the file, but instead handed it over to the OC Railway without divulging the concerns that led to its withdrawal from the RSA. The matter has been put to the relevant docket heads to sort without allowing the culprits to go scot-free on the mere excuse of procedural flaws in the case management. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, regarding the concern of extortion by the police, investigations are still ongoing so that the necessary disciplinary action can be taken against implicated officers once culp is established. Number 8, Honorable Tuka Isaac, Upper Madi County. It is the matter concerning the delayed construction of a technical institute in Upper Madi County. The prayer is, can I update this House on the matter? My response, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, is that it is indeed true that Madi Okoro is among the districts without a technical institute. This is a challenge which we acknowledge and remain committed to addressing it. However, it is important for members to note the state of disrepair which many of our institutes are currently in. This has resulted from lack of maintenance over time. The ministry would therefore like to focus resources on rehabilitation of these and the fulfillment of the presidential pledges on the same. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we are also encouraging members from these districts without institutes to make use of the existing ones. This will help us to curb the prevalent challenge of low student enrollment in order to make the continued operation of these institutes viable. In the future, we are working to ensure that each district has a technical institute and a skills development center and is operational in every constituency. Number 9, Honorable Nsibambi Yusuf, Opposition Whip, FDC, and a Member of Parliament from Maokota South. That on 27th day of July 2023, Parliament resolved that the additional of 1 billion to 135 districts, 10 cities, and 31 be used for road maintenance as opposed to road rehabilitation. However, we have received information alleging that cows who constitute part of the district roads committee are putting greater resistance to the use of this additional maintenance grant. It is further alleged that the money is sitting idle on accounts, yet roads in district cities and municipalities are impassable and in dire state. His prayer, why has it taken government too long to implement the resolution of Parliament to this effect so that the road works can go on smoothly in these local governments, cities, and municipal councils? My response, Right Honorable Speaker, is that the parliamentary resolution of 27th July 2023 on the allocation of 1 billion to district cities and municipalities for maintenance of roads is in line with the cabinet directive on the same matter. Note that His Excellency the President further guided that the 1 billion was in addition to the road fund which districts were getting. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, on 1st September 2023, the Ministry of Local Government communicated the parliamentary resolution to all chief administrative officers, city clerks, and municipal town clerks who are currently implementing the resolution following the release of funds by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. A copy of the guidance is attached here too. The Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Works and Transport are closely following up the implementation process to ensure adherence to guidelines, procedures, timelines, and the quality of work. However, if there exists a specific issue in any local government that any member feels that that is a hindrance to quality and timely implementation, it should be brought to the attention of government so that we resolve it urgently. That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable Prime Minister. You've had the responses from the Prime Minister. We'll allow about 5 people. Solomon, as a supplementary.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I come from Buko District, a border district. It borders Kenya to the east and borders Queen District in the west. Right Honorable Speaker, our people are getting a lot of challenges in surveying and titling their lands. For example, in the sub-counties of Riwa sub-county, whenever people try to survey and title their lands, the coordinates read that that land is in Kenya. Yes, it reads that the land is in Kenya. And this goes to almost 1 kilometer deep in our Ugandan land. And the beacons are clearly marked. Right Honorable Speaker, in the sub-counties of Chesawer, the sub-counties of Tulel and the sub-counties of Longo, some parts when you want to try to survey and title the land, it reads that the coordinates are in Queen District. Now our people in the lands office in Boko are getting difficulties, Right Honorable Speaker, in surveying and titling lands. And it is a general problem in Sabay sub-region, right, Honorable Speaker. Recently in Kapchorwa, there is a health unit called Sanzara, which is in Tingai County. They wanted to survey the health unit, but the coordinates read that you are in the Plamburi district. That means, right, Honorable Speaker, that our borders in Sabay sub-region are not clearly marked. I don't know what we can do, right, Honorable Speaker, because recently when I went to education office to follow up the construction of a certain secondary school called Riwa Secondary School and Cortec, they told us that they want the ownership of the land. And that means you have to get a title. I wonder, right, Honorable Speaker, how are our people going to get titles now if the coordinates are not reading well? My prayer, right, Honorable Speaker, is that the government should go to Sabay sub-region and start with the Tor County and open the boundaries such that our people can title, can survey and title their lands. Thank you very much, right, Honorable Speaker.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, a member is raising a very pertinent issue. The President in March this year directed me, Minister of Lands, to go and demarcate the boundaries and make them clear between the district of Kweni, Bulambuli, and Buku. It has been an issue for quite some long time. I request you, Right Honorable Speaker, that you allow the member to bring this question in a written form so that I can give a concrete answer, because it's quite technical. Thank you so much.
Honorable, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Solomon raises a very pertinent issue. It is not only in Bukoda that is happening. It is also happening in Kampala here. Personally, I have my place, my own home, where I know where the stones are. But after some few days, when I went back, we found that the road had been shifted in the middle of my home. I have a report to that effect. And that was done by KCCA. You need to check that. Now, if they can do that to me, how many people have they done to? In the title, you have a title which has the right coordinates. On the ground, they have moved. On ground, they are there. But on the title, they change on their computer to move from where the title is to where they want it to be. And I want you to find out that with the fiscal planner, because it is documented and I reported it to police. Giovannis.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me to join my colleagues to wish you a happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, Chirhura district was hit by heavy rains and hailstorm, and properties were destroyed, some schools, houses, and crops. On 10th of October, we officially wrote the Prime Minister's office about the case. And this happened in about 8 sub-counties. Allow me to mention those sub-counties, though I will not go into the details of parishes and cells. Those were officially submitted. Some sub-counties that were heavily affected include Chikat sub-county, Kenshunga sub-county, Chinoni sub-county, Dushere Town Council, Chirhura Town Council, part of Nyakashashara, Akayanja, part of Retamu, Kashonja, and Chitura. We have been waiting. We did what it takes. We did the report. We submitted,
and we are still waiting. I request through you, Right Honorable Speaker, to know from the Prime Minister the progress on the support to the district. I thank you.
Thank you. I thought they respond to the one they raised first.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, you directed me last Thursday to have a meeting with members of parliament so that they can bring their concerns. And then you told me not even to report back here. That Honorable Speaker, we had that meeting on Tuesday this week, and the number of members came, and we have done the compilation. That Honorable Speaker, the member in concerned, if she wrote early, her concern will be taken care of. I promise that we shall handle, including those who brought their issues last Tuesday. That Honorable Speaker, even your issue was brought to our attention of Bukedia, the flooded roads and many other, because I brought all the ministers concerned. We had the Minister of Works, Honorable Katumba himself was there. UNRWA was present. The Ministry for Disaster Preparedness, Honorable.
Speaker.
Honorable, let the Prime Minister finish, then you'll bring your issue independently. I even want to thank Honorable Esther. After the meeting, she went and saw what was happening in my village. And she will tell you that things are bad. Yes.
That Honorable Speaker, we constituted a team, both technical and political, to go with the members of parliament to see what is happening in their area. We have also gone ahead to come up with a supplementary on the directive of the president. He's saying that we needed to, first and foremost, put in place a measure, an urgent measure, so that we can address these concerns there and then. These ones that are being brought up by floods, by these disasters. Right Honorable Speaker, we are moving in the right direction. I promise members.
When do we have the supplementary?
The supplementary may come here in 2 weeks' time.
Because people are suffering.
Yes, Right Honorable.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Kwizera is burning.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Right Honorable Speaker, all members have been raising issues of disaster, and there is a way to handle them. And the Constitution of Uganda, Article 249, directs government to have a disaster preparedness and management commission. Could the Right Honorable Speaker inform this House when this commission will be there?
The Speaker, me to inform you.
Through you, can you direct the Prime Minister to tell us? I thank you.
Let me
but
tell
that's
you.
a mechanism that should be in place.
Formation of the Disaster Preparedness Commission, as per Rule 249, will come together with the Constitutional Review Commission. So those commissions will come. So for now, let's first save the lives. Ayeko.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Granddaughter. Yes, Ayeko, then
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
granddaughter.
Right Honorable Speaker.
No,
I
she's
also
a
want to-
granddaughter of His Excellency President Amin.
Right Honorable Speaker, I also want to, on behalf of the people of Soroti County, to wish you a very, very happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, the rains have come. They have been good. The orange trees have dropped the old leaves. They are flowered. They are bearing a lot of good fruit. But Right Honorable Speaker, there is a big problem. These fruits never mature on the tree because already there is a serious pest that has affected the oranges in Teso. And I am not speaking only for Soroti, I'm speaking for the entire Teso region. Straight from Katakwi, down to Kumi, to Ngora, back to Bukedia, and internally within the city area of Soroti. Right Honorable Speaker, there is good news also that a miracle has happened. There was a communication from the fruit factory that now they can consume over 72 tons of orange. But the question is, are they going to consume the rotten oranges? My prayer is that the Ministry of Agriculture, Right Honorable Speaker, we had the locusts. We fumigated these locusts. They went. These trees must be fumigated. Let us provide, because even when the farmers maintain the tree, the rot continues and it spreads like from one tree to another. Right Honorable Speaker, we are talking about the economic basket of Teso. We are talking about a household income. I pray that as these new rains are continuing and these trees are bearing new fruit, can we protect this? And we shall see a change in household income. I beg to submit.
Can I ask, can I be a devil's advocate? There was a report that was presented here. No, it was somebody who raised. It was Honorable Walu who raised an issue that Soroti Fruit Factory had been given out. Do we still have Soroti Fruit Factory? And I just want information from the Prime Minister. No, you don't have information. It is the Prime Minister who has information.
Right Honorable Speaker, Soroti Fruit Factory is not given out. But Honorable Speaker, you are aware that the President has been struggling to make sure that the oranges, because he's the one who advocated for the people of Soroti and Teso sub-region to engage in fruit farming. So the current factory we have has got limitations. But these limitations can easily be can be done away with. So there is one of the investors, she's called Mrs. Zanawe. Zanawe is the she's a former first lady of Ethiopia. According to the president, she has capacity to help us revamp this factory, because UDC has mismanaged this factory in partnership with government of Uganda. That Honorable Speaker, we are in the process of making sure that UDC, together with this lady, the former first lady of Ethiopia, Mrs. Danawe, can come up with regulations, can come up with a way of how to have that partnership. And the issues are now with the Attorney General. The Auditor General is already taking the audits, the necessary audits. We are still on the way. Thank you so much. Now, the factory, I mean the fruits and the spraying the fruits, I request that the member helps me to write so that I can get technical answers to his question.
There is a clarification from Honorable Kivalia.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, your question was very clear to the Prime Minister. And as this Prime Minister was closing, it was as if she was going where the question was. I'm seeking clarification from the Prime Minister, whether she understood the question from the Speaker, and if she got it, has the Soroti Fruit Factory been given away or no?
The question has been answered. Unless if you did not understand, but it has been answered. Honorable Muhesh, you have something on the same?
Clarification, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister has narrated very well, and I was following, that UDC and the Uganda government mismanaged the factory. But again told us that they now is going to partner with UDC. The non-mismanaging agency is now given another chance to mismanage his father. Can she clarify what it means? Is it the second UDC or the actual UDC?
Another clarification.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, the Committee on Trade and Industry brought a report to this House with recommendations in regard to the mismanagement of that factory. The Prime Minister is here as a leader of government business. Would she explain to us what has been done on the recommendation and the resolutions of this House? What have you done with this UDC staff? Because so many of them were named, including the managing director of Soroti Fruit Factory. What have you done as a leader of government business? Should we continue trusting these people? And before I say it, Right Honorable Speaker, there has been a plane moving around the areas of Teso, around the swampy areas, while demarcating and dropping mark stones.
The what?
A small plane moving around the areas of Teso, yellow in color, while dropping mark stones, aerial survey. And our people would like to know, because they don't understand, they get these mark stones, they drop them very deep. We want to know what government is doing, because even as the leaders, we are not aware about it and we cannot explain anything to defend government down there. Can I know from the Prime Minister so that when I meet the people of Amuria, I can tell them what government is doing in this place?
Is that the geophysical surveys being done by the Minister of Energy? Yeah, that is.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm not aware about it, because I hope
I am informing you.
it would be right for us as leaders to know about it so that we talk about it down there. Otherwise, it is going to be a big challenge to answer these issues during times of campaign. Right Honorable Speaker.
That is done by the Energy. They are doing a geophysical survey of the area. And I think what we need to do on the issue of the report of trade, we need to get the action taken report. You may not ambush the Prime Minister now. She may not know. She gets so many reports. She may not know what is happening, but she'll come with the action taken reports on Soroti Fruit Factory.
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, it is against the background of our resolutions in this House that the President is, I can say, struggling to make sure that what we promised our people is fulfilled. Honorable Speaker, I will come up with a detailed report with concrete answers on how far we have gone, where we are in regard to the resolutions of the Committee of Trade and Industry.
Thank you. Uganda. Ate Uganda.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Happy birthday and congratulations on your double blessings. Right Honorable Prime Minister, I raise a concern about my people in Koboko. 6 students were sent back from Ora Technical School because they tested positive for hepatitis B. My concern is, our concern as Koboko is, what other plan does government have in place for those students who are suffering from lifelong illnesses? Because that
technical school has denied my students access to studying because they test positive of hepatitis B. Thank you.
Yes, Prime Minister.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the question in front of us is quite technical. I will consult Minister of Health and also get in touch with the district administration, the DHO and the others, find out what truly happened. Then I will come back here and report next week.
Okay, Uganda, Dr. Bukenya.
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Speaker. The Right Honorable Speaker, happy birthday. The Right Honorable Speaker, I'm rising to ask some answers, maybe to require some answers from the Right Honorable Prime Minister. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank you so much for the help you're giving in Toroko, especially when you visited us where, due to those floods. As I speak now, the Right Honorable Speaker, the 7 sub-counties down are submerged. And indeed, the other time when we had the Prime Minister, we gave a report. But the challenge was that we needed land to relocate those people. Kasese and Intoroko were prioritized. But Kasese got their land. But Intoroko was left out. And Intoroko, Right Honorable Prime Minister, we have land. People have land to sell. The other time I was in your office, I told you about it. So when are we getting this land so that these people are shifted from those areas? As I speak now, if you see the pictures, really our people are suffering. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, it is together with all the teams from the Office of the Prime Minister. We identified 3 issues then. We needed to shift people. But the challenge then, he's aware that the neighboring land is Semuliki. Is it Semuliki? Game Reserve. It's a national park. We even went to the extent of coming up with a resolution so that we can degazette part of that land. Then they said we have to change the constitution. So we left that path and we agreed that we get people who can sell government land. Since that time, I'm getting information now. We even went to the extent, because some of the facilities had submerged, we constructed a health center 3. He's aware. A full health center that had submerged. We relocated and constructed it. Right Honorable Speaker, we are doing a lot. That Office of the Prime Minister is doing a lot of things. So I promise that we shall, now that you have people who want to sell land, we shall get to Ntoroko and buy that land for the people.
Thank you.
By the way, even in Kayunga, we bought land in Kayunga. Remember the other money you wanted me to give clarity? The 5 billion?
The 5 billion.
We were able to construct the health. Yes, we were able to construct.
Now the Prime Minister is making accountability to me for the 5 million.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember the 5 billion?
That is very good.
Let me make accountability. That Honorable Speaker, we bought land in Kayunga. We constructed a health center that had submerged in Rwampanga, in Nakasongola. We constructed a school in Nakasongola that had submerged. We constructed a health facility, Health Center 3 in Butiaba, that is Bulisa. We constructed another health center in Toroko. We bought land on the same 5 billion. We bought land in Kasese. We are also currently constructing and upgrading a hospital in Kasese. Right Honorable Speaker, that money was well spent. We used the Army Brigade to do these facilities.
Right Honorable Prime Minister, I'm also requesting that you come and there is a school where Honorable Minister promised at Chomai Primary School. I'm also requesting that you find it in your heart to come and construct in that school. Let him tell us the status of the school.
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. It's true the school is coded
It has teachers, but the challenge is it does not have an infrastructure. So the request by the Right Honorable Speaker to the Prime Minister is valid. So for that matter, Madam Prime Minister, she has directed me to take it up. I thank you so much, Right Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you so much. Dr. Bukenya, Kamukama. Honorable members, let's first give Dr. Bukenya, Kamukama.
Thank you.
People don't talk. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
You know, we need equity. Complain, I don't give you to talk. So let's give, after that side, we come to the ladies there, the three of them. Yes. Then some tall man here. Yes, doctor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I wish also to join the members here to first congratulate you upon achieving the title of Nalongo. As a gynecologist, I know how it is difficult to be a Nalongo. I also wish to wish you a very happy birthday and wish you many more years. I want to go to the Right Honorable Prime Minister. There is a ban on recruitment of public servants. And the Minister of Health constructed a health center 3 in Bukuya in a hard-to-reach place called Buseregeny. And they even brought equipment that actually the few health workers there put in the store. And so it is being seen as a white elephant. The health center 3 has 2 staff and they can't operate. I would like to know from the Prime Minister when the government plans to lift the ban on recruitment of public servants, especially in the health and education sectors. Thank you.
Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, that issue came in cabinet on Monday, and the President directed Minister of Public Service and the Minister of Finance to uplift the ban. After all, the wage was provided, which audit was carried out, and the report is out as we speak. So your people will be recruited.
Thank you. Kamukama. Procedure on what?
I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and the compound of congratulations, more especially on the double blessings you got. That is the twins, and happy birthday. Through you, Madam Speaker, I would love to inquire which criteria should the member use to write to Minister of Disaster? Because I've written several letters on the disaster from Bunyangabu. You know, Bunyangabu is a food basket for this nation. All the matoke we eat almost come from Bunyangabu. But we normally face a problem of hailstones and heavy winds. So I've been writing letters, but I've never gotten any response. I don't know whether I should write in Chinese or Swahili, so that maybe you can respond. So I really pray they give me a criteria on what I should do to solve such disasters in my constituency.
You can actually write it in Lutoro, but I'm sure that the letters reach, and the food basket of this country should be single, really.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the Ministry for Disaster, now that the Minister is here, I think she can give an answer, but what I wanted to say is that the member, I don't know which technical people helped him, but we have really responded to disasters across the country. I don't know, did you go through the procedure we brought here?
Did you get a disaster report from the district?
Yes. And the cow wrote. So let me ask the minister since she's here.
Honorable, yes? Why don't we respond to the members' issue?
It's related to the same, Madam.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Right Honorable Prime Minister is referring us to the supplementary budget bill from the ministry. But then we understand that disasters are supposed to be funded under the contingency fund, which we believe this is the second quarter. I don't understand whether that money has already been used or not. Why do we have to wait for the supplementary to come and deal with the disasters that have happened everywhere in Uganda, Madam Speaker?
Now you're acting in anticipation. No. When the bill comes, that's when you'll ask, how did you use on what was on contingency? Now you're reacting in anticipation. First get the bill, understand how much has been spent, how much is wanted, you check what is on the contingency fund, then you can ask that question. You know, that's the difference between an accountant and a historian. Yes, my son did history and
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank my senior, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, for ably answering some of these questions about the disaster preparedness and management in the country. Colleagues, you need to bear with us. We have been really trying our best to see how we respond to some of the disasters. As you compiled all the disaster reports that we have, just in the last 2 weeks alone, we have another bigger bunch of 27 reports from the El Nino. 27, including Bukedia, Nakasongola, Buvuma. It is a list of things.
Nakapiripirit.
Right, Honorable, I don't want to speak about my district because people will think I'm conflicted, but we are trying.
Honorable members, the floods that I get from Bukedea come from Nakapiripirit. So, and Sebe. So all the water comes from up, from Chemaswet's place, from Esther's place, and end up in Bukedea and Katakwi.
Right, Honorable, I agree with you that all the water that comes from the mountains of Mount Elgon, Napak Mountain, and then Moroto Mountain, all of them are sloping towards Teso. And that's why we have so many floods in Katakwi and Bukedia. But colleagues, I just want to be patient with us. The Prime Minister has just announced here that we are on preparations to get some money from the supplementary to be able to answer. I'm going to bring a report here, and you see how many schools, without even going, because this has been removed from contingency fund from Ministry of Education, how many schools our ministry has tried to support at your constituency level because of you. But we thank you very much. So we are trying our best to see how we are able to support you members in this amidst even this morning I was in the stores. Just this morning, Right Honorable sent me to the store. So I went to go and confirm what we have in terms of iron sheets, in terms of relief, and what quantity can we be able, should be able to take to the people. Right Honorable Speaker, we are going to support all the members, all the districts, and all the constituencies that have been affected by the floods. That's my word.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you upon two events, the first and the second, which is your birthday today. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to know from the Prime Minister whether implementation of presidential executive order requires any regulations, because in my district, Right Honorable Speaker, as I speak now, I cannot reach to my home. There are vehicles which are full of charcoals which are parked on the road because they cannot cross the road. And district cannot implement the executive order of confiscating these vehicles with the charcoal because they said they need resolution. Especially this is an advice from the resident state attorney and the OC police. So I want to know from the Prime Minister whether we need those. So, right now, Speaker,
Finish.
information allowed, right now, Speaker.
Prime Minister, can you answer? Tom. Prime Minister, can you answer the issue of the charcoal, the ban on charcoal? And you're saying they are stuck and they cannot be arrested? You are finished. Yes.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, there is an executive order the President gave me together with the concerned ministries, departments, and agencies. As for me, Right Honorable Speaker, I know there is a ban, and that is it. If there are these other upcoming concerns, then we can sit and agree on how to implement the executive order. Right Honorable Speaker, that's what I can tell people.
Thank you, Dubai. Dubai. And then I come to, not you, Chan sit.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance. I want also to join my colleagues to thank you for having added the population of Uganda 2 in 1. Right Honorable Speaker, I had a problem with one of my primary school, Aboykwar Primary School. It's up to P7, but does not have a single staff house. All the teachers are sleeping outside the school. So the parents requested me that they can make structures. I should come and request for iron seats from the Prime Minister. So I've written, the letter is there. To the Prime Minister, the school you went and visit during that flood. I want to thank you, you sent the iron seats, but you never bought land. So the iron seats are lying idle. I'm very surprised to hear you have bought land for other places and you left your friend out. Now the floods have overtaken the school again. I want to thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, we want land, we want a school.
It is true, Right Honorable Speaker, I went to Amurata, and in Amurata we constructed a health center called Naruboyo. Using the same 5 billion, when the President says we use Army Brigade, they can save a lot. He's right. With the 5 billion, we are able to construct in Amurata, like I've already told you, with others. Right Honorable Speaker, even the iron sheets that you received came from the same. And so I think we have no alternative but to relocate that school. Because the other time, Right Honorable Speaker, it had not fully submerged. And no sooner had I left, the people who went there to see found out that the school the water had receded. And so we thought maybe it would survive. But if you are saying there is again another real currency, we have to look for a permanent solution to that problem. And I promise the Office of the Prime Minister, together with the Minister of Disaster Preparedness, will come and rescue the situation.
Ntoroko?
Thank you, Right Honorable.
Okay, speak. But Ntoroko is there first, then Nakasongol and...
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and congratulations on your birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank government on the support they've been giving in Ntoroko on floods, year in and year out. But there is a little bit of a problem. I'd request government to do, because for us, floods is different from what is happening right now. People's livelihood is being really affected so much because each year we have floods and we lose animals, we lose people, lose property, lose business in big number. So there is a need for government to have a long-term and a short-term, because we've been getting short-term solutions of food supplies and emergency support. But now we need a long-term, because River Semliki is now becoming a lake. And there is a need for Ministry of Water and Environment to find out the long-lasting solution for it. Because sometimes we get floods when there is no rain. Water comes and floods. So my prayer is that can government find a lasting solution, because these issues affect us every year, and it doesn't leave us the same, and it's encroaching on people's livelihood. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. That's my prayers.
Nakasongola.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the woman member of parliament from Mutoroko attended this Tuesday meeting, and those issues she's talking about were brought to our attention. We took note of all her issues, and I want to promise that we shall handle Mutoroko. We shall give permanent solutions, because the president directed me to do it, and we shall do it.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to join my colleagues to wish you a happy birthday. Right Honorable Speaker, in Nakasongola district, I've got a local council that was created in 2012. Up to date, it has never been allocated with any government health facility, and that is Mijera Town Council. Mijera Town Council is the busiest town council in the whole district of Nakasongola. It is along Bull Highway. We have always faced a lot of accidents along that road, and people have ended up losing their lives because there is no any facility that can handle such an emergency. Right Honorable Speaker, through you to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, may I know when is government constructing a government health facility in Mijera Town Council? Because so far there are 12 years on road without any government facility. Enough follow-up has been made to different offices, but all in vain. May I please know when government is giving us a government health facility as per government policy of health is? Thank you. I beg to submit.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Mijera Town Council was carved out of Mijera sub-county. Nabiswera. Yes. And so we are aware that it is our policy that every sub-county will be given a health facility. I request a member to follow up with the Ministry of Health. Definitely, we shall handle that issue, because Nakasongola has got a number of health facilities. I've been to Mijera, I've been to almost every sub-county in Nakasongola, and we shall handle. But they have a facility in the mother sub-county. They have a facility in the mother sub-county. It's only that now a town, it was upgraded to a town council. We shall also handle that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. On behalf of people of Stagwenda and on my own behalf, allow me congratulate you and wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
My concern is about regular maintenance on Kabujogera, Mahioro, Buhindaji Road. This road in Chitagwenda district, this road has black spots which have continuously caused accidents that have claimed so many lives of our people. And as leaders, we have tried to engage UNRWA, but nothing has been done. And recently, a contract was awarded to carry out road maintenance on this road, but these black spots were ignored. And there is another stretch that connects Rubirizi and Kitagweda district, and it was left out. And yet it is in a very bad state. My prayer through you, Right Honorable Speaker, I would request the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Works and Transport to work, at least to work on these spots such that our people we can save the lives of our people. That's my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, it is true that most roads as we speak now are not in good condition because of what you know, the heavy rains. And we agreed with the Ministry of Works that as we speak now, it is useless for us to spend taxpayers' money to work on these bad spots as of now. Otherwise, we shall just waste money. So we are waiting for the rain to subside, then embark on serious work across the country.
Thank you, Sise. Barbara. Let's start with Eva, then since you had forgotten your name.
Right, Honorable Speaker, there are very few people who call me Sise. That's why I was surprised. I thought you were calling somebody else. Right, Honorable Speaker, I must appreciate the way the Right Honorable Prime Minister is responding to the questions put to her by members. I think she makes it really thorough and holistic. I'm not saying it because she's a woman, but I think the manner in which she's handling our questions is really very professional and very thorough. And I want to appreciate that. At least put it on record. Right, Honorable Speaker, it's a matter of concern in my region, not only in Lango, but it's now spreading to Teso, started in Acholi, hit us in Amolatar, and is spreading. The issue of Balalo. I know the way our Prime Minister works, and I know the way our Speaker works. Right, Honorable Speaker, it is very clear that if we leave this matter of Balalo in the hands of the government alone, it might be difficult for us to handle. But right now, we have a crisis in Amolatar, we have a crisis in Acholi. People are talking, and even the issue of aeroplane, which Honorable Susan Amero brought, is being now spread all over. That when you see an aeroplane, you think they have come to spot our land, and the Balalos are on the way to take it up. So, Right Honorable Speaker, please help us with the Prime Minister who is working with a lot of vigor. Please help us to calm down. The President had made a very strong statement when he was talking about fishermen who went and settled in some fishing villages. He said, let those fishermen go to where they have come from. Why don't we make the same statement that before we resolve this matter, let these Balalos first go back. We want to know where they have come from. We may think they're Balalos of Uganda, when they could actually be coming from Ethiopia, from where? So we must know. Let them first go back. Then we can work out where can we settle them, who are the right people to settle, or are they criminals who are just trying to find safe sanctuary in Uganda. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you on behalf of the people of my region, let the matter of Balalo be resolved. I beg to request.
Thank you. There are three arms of government. We have executive, we have legislature, and then we have judiciary. Now, as of now, there are two arms of government that are handling that thing. The executive, the president himself, and then the chief justice, the other arm of government. So for us now, let's not discuss that before we get a report from the two other arms of government. Let's wait and get a report from the big man. We don't want to burn our hands, me and the Prime Minister, because when the top bosses are handling it, we may not be able to discuss about it as of now. As of now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yeah.
Right Honorable Speaker, you had given me.
There's a tall man behind you.
Yes,
first.
you sit down first. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, on 23rd of September last year, this issue of boundary between Sebei and Bugisu was raised in this house by me. And Right Honorable Speaker promised that she was going to handle within a period of only 1 month.
Me?
No, sorry. Right Honorable Prime Minister promised that she was going to handle within a period of 1 month. Madam Speaker, as we speak right now, Sabine's last months were demonstrating on the same issue. This issue is going to cause tribal conflict, which this country may not be in position even to handle, Right Honorable Speaker, because the Bagiso are continuing extending the boundary to the upper belt of Sebei. Right Honorable Speaker, if this matter is not taken serious at any time, I think Sebei will not be more. So yes,
will not be anymore.
Yes, Sebei will not be there anymore, because our land before it was bordering from Embek. Right now it is bordering within the mountain, and even up to now as we speak, the two parishes in my sub county are said to be in Blambuli. So this thing is not supposed to wait as Honorable Speaker, as Right Honorable Prime Minister promised that we write. It was a directive from the president. Yes.
That's it. Now the issue you're raising is one of the issues that was raised before, and we agreed it is a technical matter. Kindly put it down in writing. And when you put it down in writing, the Prime Minister is able to send from one department, ministry to the other ministry. You don't expect to get an answer from the Prime Minister from here on such a technical matter. So for me, what I want you to do, put it down in writing, bring all those issues. The Prime Minister will be able to send those people on the ground and determine what can be done.
Much obliged, Madam Speaker.
Eva.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to thank God for another year that He has added you, and thank God also for the banner of joy for the twins. Right Honorable Speaker, in 2004, the President gave Bukwa District a hospital status. But last year, with the wisdom of the Minister of Health, the district hospital was downgraded to a health center 4. As we speak now, National Drugs Authority has decided also to cut off drugs for the same district hospital. We are now in trouble. We don't know where to take patients. So I want to, Right Honorable Prime Minister, please you take up so that Bukwa District can be reinstated and given back its status as a district hospital.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members. First answer that. Then.
That Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I cannot deceive you that I have an answer to her issue, because I'm hearing it for the first time, how government can downgrade a hospital to a health center 4. It is strange. And so I request a member to help me write that question so that I can get answers.
Thank
and
you.
Also take action where possible.
Adome? Honorable members, as I promise, Adome, can you first finish? You finish, Adome. Then I make a ruling.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to engage the Prime Minister. Through you, Madam Speaker, I want to raise two issues. One, earlier on, I raised the issue of the status of the Moroto Road regarding the trucks that were carrying out materials, and we discussed about the way bridges, and the Prime Minister promised that they would bring temporary bridges. So I want to use this opportunity, since the Minister of Works is here, maybe if he can tell us when exactly they can do that, because we really have a big challenge. And then secondly, I also want to inquire what we requested for the mortuary, because we told you the whole of Karamoja sub-region does not have a mortuary. So we move bodies all the way to Mbale, especially we always have to engage UPDF to assist us with the facility in Mbale, which has also become a bit costly and difficult, because sometimes we find their mortuaries is already filled up, so we had to hang in there. So that is why I want to inquire from the Prime Minister when you think you can also help us with that facility, so that we're able to help our people. Thank you.
The whole of Karamoja.
Right Honorable Speaker, I have been to Moroto Regional Referral Hospital. And the fact is, what he's talking about is true. The facility that they use does not have a cooler. It's like a store, and so bodies decompose. I request that the member puts this again in writing.
They have a mortuary, but without a cooler.
They don't have, the body cannot stay there for.
They can't stay.
Yes.
This time,
I was shown a store.
Please, please put it down in writing, yeah?
Yes.
Put it down in writing. Mbabazi?
Way Bridge, I request my colleague here, the former RDC, and the Alobo.
And there is a...
But, Right Honorable, it is true that the weight of the trucks...
Honorable members, when you start singing left, right, center, that procedure, Arobo is it. When you start singing your left, right, center, procedure, me, I am a mother, I have to look after my kids. I had to get in the house to Tuesday too.
Thank you, Prime Minister.